World of Outlaw Series thunders into town for the Channellock Spring Classic. And darned if there isn't a posse on their trail. The Pennsylvania Posse, the toughest group of regional racers in the winged world. In fact, for the first time ever, a posse rider sits atop the Outlaws point standings, and that would be Stevie Smith. Hi, everybody. I'm Stevie Evans, waving the green flag on 3 hours of racing only motor met. Oops. Well, moving along. Remember the big wide straightaways last weekend in Terre Haute, Indiana? Well, forget them, because Williams Grove doesn't have them. Remember the spacious, forgiving turns, plenty of room for everybody to slide? Forget those too. Williams Grove doesn't have them, but Williams Grove is every bit as fast, which means this is going to be a very physical race. It's not if cars are going to get together, it's just when. And last night was a perfect example. The preliminary show, well, take a look. Didn't have to wait long for the combat to begin. This was in his heat race. Watch the blue #1 car, reigning Outlaw champion, Sammy Swindell. He does this flip, flop, and fly. Back to the pits. His crew repaired the car, and he transferred to the V8 feature, where he would find on the pole posse member Lance Deweese, who won the dash. The dance to Lance Deweese, and the prize position on the pole for the big money race last evening. But it was not to be for Lance. Johnny Herrera in the 47 car and Mark Kinser in the 5M car were to rule the night. Herrera had a great run, much as he did at Terre Haute last Friday night, but couldn't hold off the hard-charging Mark Kinser, as Kinser took the lead on the next to last lap. His Uncle Carl, flicking his heels just like he did last Friday night in Terre Haute, turned into a stand-up comedian. But Mark Kinser, desperately needing the points, trying to chase down Stevie Smith for the #1 spot in the Outlaw standing so far. With a win last night, he got within a scant 6 points of Stevie Smith. And he's with Dave Reed.
And Steve, it certainly wasn't pretty, but they did get the job done. Mark, you guys have still been getting your wins, but not in the dominating Carl Kinser, Mark Kinser fashion we've seen in years past. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, we're about the same as we was, and I think the competition has definitely stepped their program up. It still was tough enough last year, actually, and then you had Danny Wasowski, Tyler Walker, Del Blaney to the mix. It gets tougher every year.
Well, thanks to that first-place finish, they are locked into tonight's A-Main. One thing you'll also notice, the VW hood, sideways-mounted radiator are gone. That's old school, but Carl's school is still a pretty good school. Let's go upstairs to the guys who are going to call the action tonight.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, everybody. Ralph Shaheen, along with my co-driving partner here in our World of Outlaw coverage, Brad Doty. You know, for the first time in the history of the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, a former member of the Pennsylvania Posse is actually leading the point standings. That, of course, is New Oxford, Pennsylvania's Stevie Smith. And even though, Brad, we've come to his home turf here in Pennsylvania, Williams Grove Speedway, Stevie is struggling. Last night, in a Thursday night preliminary race here at the Grove, Stevie had a flat tire in his heat race, went through the B, got into the A, and then suffered more mechanical problems in the A, didn't finish the race, and didn't score many points. What is in store for this team as they get ready for tonight's race?
Well, New Oxford's just down the road, just 20 minutes from here. All these guys are on the road so often, they like to get home and sleep in their own bed, work in their own shop, but it also takes away from their focus, the fans and everybody. It's not a bother, but it is hard to focus. That had nothing to do with their mechanical troubles last night. They had an engine failure in the A-Main. All they can do is hope that some of the other teams have trouble, but Steve Smith Sr. is not new to this. You know, he's an original outlaw, not one of the World of Outlaws, but the Outlaws that ran around and just raced for the money. He's used to going into people's neighborhood and taking the money away, and he's just leading the points and smiling and having a good time.
Well, Steve Smith Sr. and Devin DeLucio are the two members that spin the wrenches on that Ingersoll Rand number 19. The man that drives it, Stevie Smith, and he is standing by with Bobby Jarrell.
And although Stevie Smith faced adversity last night with a broken rocker arm in the feature event that sidelined him, he does still have a 6-point lead over Mark Kinser, and he is at home. But is that a good thing? Sometimes when you get at home, some extra distractions, a lot of people angling for your time. And so, Stevie, has it been hard to focus a little bit coming back home?
Well, yeah, you know, you have a lot of friends, your sponsors here. There's 500 people from Ingersoll Rand, but that's not our problem. They're great people, and we're glad to be home. We've been spinning the wheels all weekend. The car hasn't been hooked up the way we wanted it, and that's the main problem.
Steve, you're going to be on the outside of the front row of this first heat. You shouldn't have any problem here, should you?
No, I hope not. The Ingersoll Rand's been a good car all year, so I hope we can pull one off here.
All right, I'm picking Stevie Smith to win the first heat. That's not going out on too big a limb, Steve Evans.
You're a real gambler, Gerald. Well, you know the players and you know the playing field. Call all your friends and tell them live on TNN Motorsports, it's the greatest show on dirt. Let the madness begin when we come back.
The MBNA 200, May 30th on TNN Motorsports. Live from the electrifying arena in Music City, USA.
This is it.
The TNN Music City News Country Awards, live June 15th.
Hey, no, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the personal post office from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the mail marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our mail marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Call now and get all this for a 90-day free trial.
The personal post office. Mailing made simple.
It's another night of TNN's Wild Wild Web Week. I'm .com, ready to get connected to TNN Motor Madness. Just go online to country.com and I'll see you there. I can't wait.
Welcome back to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, the Channellock Spring Classic. Well, heat number 1 is already pushed off. They're lining up as they roll down the back straightaway. Let's show you the lineup for heat number 1. So we get set for this first one. Well, it's all Pennsylvania guys making up most of the first 2 rows. Chris Esch and Stevie Smith in row 1. Lance DeWeese inside row 2. Then the California kid, Tyler Walker, tonight's fast qualifier on the outside of row number 2. Jeff Swindell on the Ford. And Mike Wagner in car 55 in row 3. Darren Pittman and Lynn Thompson back in row number 4. And behind them, we see Billy Wilburn, tire changer for Rusty Wallace's Winston Cup effort, and George Suprick. Now, throughout the night, we're going to be introducing you to some of the key players. Pennzoil World of Outlaws, and the first one tonight, the kid who is quick time here tonight, Tyler Walker. He's one of the contenders. 12th in the driver earnings with $30,000 and 14th in driver standings. And there he is at number 35, lining up right next to the brick car, the 461 of Lance DeWeese. So we'll be going green this time. We're green with heat 1. Stevie Smith on the outside in the black 19. The Ingersoll red car takes the lead for Nash.
Watch the cars as they move down the back straightaway, Ralph. Especially under that bridge, the cars really wiggle and waggle around. You heard Fred Rahmer talk about it in the opener here. But,
Nash on the bottom.
It really disrupts the air back there and really makes the car squirrely.
Tyler Walker runs in 3rd. Lance DeWeese is 4th, and Jeff Swindell is 5th. That's the fight for the transfer right there. The 104 plus octane car on the bottom of Jeff Swindell.
Lance DeWeese in the 461. That's for the transfer spot. Jeff Swindell in the 104 on the outside, running up there in the loose stuff.
DeWeese, the dash winner here last night. Look at him moving up and down.
That's some of that air I just talked about. But watch the right front wheel of these guys. It loves the wing, and they run right little weight in the cars, and that makes the right front light, and it picks it up coming down those straightaways.
We talked about the problem Stevie Smith had last night, Steve Evans, but boy, he looks good here tonight so far.
He had a pretty good starting position. Also, this track is murder on motors because of the very long straightaways. They really buzz. A lot of RPM. They're running on their tongue when they go into the turns. Some crew chiefs will actually build a Williams Grove motor.
This is the best dyno in the country right here, Steve, because coming out of turn 4, the turn 3 and 4 is so tight that it bogs the engine. If it doesn't set your head back against the headrest coming out of the corner and scare you going into turn 1, you don't have enough motor under the hood.
Tyler Walker on the move. He's up to 2nd. Of course, he finished 9th last week at Terre Haute. And he is really charging. Quick qualifier for the night, on his way up towards the front.
Yeah, his mechanic, Ricky Warner, ran here a lot of laps, got a lot of laps on this racetrack, and that always helps.
Stevie Smith picked up a $5,000 check here at the Grove on an off weekend for the Outlaws earlier this year. There's the transfer. Jeff Swindell in the 104. Doesn't look like Swindell's going to catch him. It's Stevie Smith, Tyler Walker, Chris Esch, and Lance DeWeese, the top four. Swindell one spot out. Four going on and straight to the A main. That'll put Jeff Swindell into the B.
But nobody does it better coming out of the B than Jeff Swindell, especially on TNN. We saw it in Las Vegas last fall.
Checkered flag. Stevie Smith, Tyler Walker, Chris Esch, and Lance DeWeese. DeWeese, of course, defeated the Outlaws here in the 1996 National Open. So he's going on to the A. We'll have to contend with him when we get there. Stevie Smith, your winner. Let's check in with Dave Reed.
I'm down with Andy Hillenburg, who's getting set to go in heat race number 2. Very quietly going into the 6th spot. No wins, no nothing like that. I'm sure it's not the season you want, but again, you're hanging right in there.
Well, we've been okay. There's been a few circumstances, and we just, you know, we really haven't been all that fast at times, so I hope we can get it together tonight, maybe.
Pole position for heat race number 2 be a pretty good starting spot for Andy Hillenburg.
All right, Dave, thanks. Andy Hillenburg getting ready. We got plenty more. 3 jam-packed hours of nothing but sprint car racing coming your way on TNN. What a great night.
When you learn to drive.
At Pennzoil,
Here we go.
we make motor oil that performs under the harshest conditions. Stop and go driving.
Come on.
If Pennzoil can protect these cars at the Taxi Cab 500, maybe you should ask for it next time you change your oil. Stop, go. Pennzoil.
This place is going bananas. The chiropractor with a clothesline. Ouch! Low blow. What is this? Oh my, a boot right between the eyes. Where are the referees? This is unbelievable. It's over. Down in the daylight. All over. Punching the doggies is gone. My legs are a-aching. My back feels like breaking. But the world feels my heart like the sun.
Here at the first hole of the Cooper Tire Invitational, a tough par 8,000, dogleg left from San Francisco over the Mojave. A quick update. Earlier leader Arnold Palmer in front of a pesky Giant O. Then he found the rough, and lots of it. Yet he seems to be moving along quite well. Bill?
Thanks, Jim. Arnie, what are you using on this rough terrain?
Cooper tires.
All right, you heard it. Arnie Lang 6020.
The world is your course. Drive on. It's the most dangerous 8 seconds on television. Hang on for the Ty Murray Invitational, part of the PBR Bud Light Cup Tour, Sunday, 9 Eastern on TNN.
Motor Madness, brought to you by Pennzoil. Formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. And by Cooper Tire and Rubber Company. Cooper Tire, the world is your course. Drive on.
Welcome back to the Channellock Spring Nationals. You're seeing it live where else? TNN, your home for live World of Outlaw coverage. Let's go downstairs to Bobby. Let's leave him at the airport. Gerald.
Oh, Ralph. I have a feeling we might hear a little bit more about that. We'll explain later. A bitter Ralph Shaheen in the booth tonight. Stevie Smith, the first winner of the evening. Is the racetrack as expected out there?
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of the racetrack. We had to start on it early. Overall, it's pretty nice. It's smooth.
All right, well, congratulations on your heat race win. And as far as leaving Shaheen last night at the airport, all I can say is my most sincere apologies, Ralph.
Well, you know, Evans, you think you got a good race chasing buddy. You know, Gerald and I have grown up together out in home Sacramento. I thought we were good race chasing buddies. Leaves me hanging at the airport so he can hurry up and get to the track.
Well, he brings so many bags. I'm surprised that he wasn't still there waiting for bags.
Heat 2 lineup. Be a long, painful night, Gerald, I can promise you. Here we go, heat number 2. Andy Hillenburg out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and Greg Hodnett in the Vibrant car alongside of him. Here's a couple of tough Pennsylvania boys in row 2. Tim Shaffer and Donnie Kreitz Jr. Jeff Shepard in the 4J. And Dave Ely lining up alongside of him in row 3. Danny Smith, the old Outlaw veteran's got Craig Delansky in the Mopar alongside of him in row 4. Sean Keane and Chris Esch's brother, Darren, in row 5. Again, 8 laps for the heats, 4 drivers straight to the A main, and of course we've inverted the first 4.
Had a chance last weekend in New Jersey at the drag races to talk to the general manager of Mopar, Larry Baker, and he was pretty encouraged by what Delansky was able to do last Friday night. He saw it live on TNN. He says, maybe we're going in the right direction here now.
Well, Lance DeWeese had a pretty good run. Let's check in with Dave Reed.
He did. He finished 4th, and he's the last guy to beat the World of Outlaws here at Williams Grove. Can you do it again tonight, maybe?
I don't know. We need to get our car a lot better. We were pretty good yesterday, but we screwed up there in the feature. But we're not real great right now, but there's a lot of racing left to go, and hopefully we'll be able to do something for the feature.
They can sure twist some nuts. He'll be around for the A-main.
Never count Lance DeWeese out.
Yeah, he was running second at Lernerville on Tuesday night for a long time and had a steering problem. I think he might have finished second.
The posse dominated that race. That wasn't good news as the Outlaws begin this Pennsylvania swing.
Well, the sun's dipping down, and we're going green with heat number 2. Great jump for Andy Hillenburg.
Well, I thought they were going to bring this one back, but he just got a good jump.
Oh,
look how tight that is.
Right in the middle of that.
The rigs come across the back straightaway under that bridge, so not only does the air disrupt the wind, but there's always a big bump back there because of the rigs coming across.
That's Kreitz diving to the bottom of that light blue, number 69. Greg Hodnett's up in second in the 11H, the Vibrant car. And then a good fight for third. That's Shepard in the white car and Schaefer in the Apple number 12.
Yeah, Donnie Kreitz has won 38 times here at Williams Grove, so he knows his way around. And the track's a little bit dry tonight, so he likes it that way. He's a dirt slick track specialist as he goes by coming off of turn 2 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, but look at Hodnett holding him off. Look at him picking up the wheels as they go under the bridge.
Again, that's the wind pushing down on the wing, forcing the back of the car down and picking that right front tire up.
Boy, Hodnett not giving up easy in the Vibrant car, though, is he? As you watch this fight for second, Hodnett all the way up in the cushion. Kreitz running along the fence. Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Oh, that feels so neat, too. I mean, that just, you know, the hoods are real high on these race cars. When it gets the front end up like that, it's really tough to see over it.
Watch Donnie Kreitz in that 69 as he comes off of turn 2 again.
Look at the big difference in the line. Greg Hodnett extremely on the top, and there's again pulling that right front wheel up.
Man, Evel Knievel never lifted him up that good, Evans.
No, let me tell you what, our camera guys are on their game tonight, too. You can see the suspension working for Donnie Kreitz Jr. on a Sinking Springs, PA, who in the old days here on TNN won 2 Outlaw features on American Sports Cavalcade.
Look at Andy Hillenburg picking up almost right front.
He almost got both off the ground.
He did. Well, it's like an old Ascot day.
Yeah.
Hillenburg, who won a race at Tulsa on an off-World of Outlaw weekend earlier this year. Good fight going on for 4th place with Shepard and Schaefer. That's Shepard in the white 4 car and Schaefer on the bottom in the red machine. Now, if Shepard, the one we're watching there, gets 20 feature victories this year, his team owner said, hey, pick any of the Harleys in my fleet you want.
Is that an incentive or what?
Tell you what, he'd have me working out pretty hard.
You know, till this weekend, Jeff Shepard was leading the All-Star points. He's ran in Florida. He ran. Look at that again.
Oh, baby.
Pretty. That's pretty. Shepard, a Williams Grove winner earlier this year, going to town with Schaefer in the Apple Chevy number 12. Here comes a fight for 4.
Shepard had the momentum coming off of turn 4, and Tim Schaefer just couldn't get a good drive off the corner.
So Shepard gets the transfer. Schaefer goes to the B. Hillenburg to win. Kreitz gets second. Hodnett gets third. Shepard goes on to the 8th feature. What's the banner, Andy? Andy Hillenburg looking down into the cockpit. Something not right there. Well, one guy who's already put it to the Outlaws earlier this week is standing by with Bobby Shaheen. Who, Gerald?
You are killing me, Ralph. Let me tell you about this. When you come to Pennsylvania with the World of Outlaws, it is the very definition of tough sledding. Fred Rahmer is the king of the Central Pennsylvania posse right now, a 12-time feature event winner already this season. What do you think about your chances here in this upcoming heat race, Fred?
Hopefully we'll be okay. We got a couple good cars behind us, but if we get a good start, we should be okay.
Fred Rahmer, a 5-time winner this season, or excuse me, won 5 in a row last week, 12 overall this season, Steve Evans.
We will have heat number 3 from the World of Outlaws when we come back to Williams Grove Speedway. I say it one more time. Call your friends and tell them to look at the sunset on TNN.
Chef Paul of Bowman's makes the best steaks in town, the Harold. Chef Paul is the maestro of marinade, the Harold. Chef Paul's reputation is built on his marinade alone, the Harold.
Chef Paul's secret ingredient is actually A1.
Chef Paul questioned about missing assistant, the Harold. The secret to great steak isn't just for great steakhouses anymore. A1, a marinade, a seasoning, a 136-year-old secret.
It's not for sale. Other companies have always tried to buy the secret family recipe for Bush's baked beans. No wonder. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Specially cured bacon, fine brown sugar, and a delicate blend of spices. I've only shared my secret family recipe with one other soul, and he'd never sell out. Hey, where did you get that?
I was just trying it on. Honest.
Bush's baked beans. Our secret family recipe is baked into every bean.
Mix 1 packet Hidden Valley Ranch with 1/4 cup breadcrumbs and 2 pounds chicken. Shake well, then bake. Hidden Valley Ranch, 1 packet, endless possibilities.
In racing, there are no second chances. You blink, you lose. You win. It's a rush. Split Fire, the choice of NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion Jim Yates, because performance is everything.
Woo! Split bar spark plugs. What a rush! Today, we study the enemy, the humanoids after us.
Outsmart the bugs with Terminix. We'll be there when you need us.
And the most dangerous, Terminix eradicator.
Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassles.
I've seen every card there is. Thousands of cards. Super 8's VIP card. It says, congratulations, your reservation is guaranteed, and you get 10% off. Life's great at Super 8.
Welcome back, everybody, to a beautiful sunset here at Williams Grove Speedway. And on Sunday on TNN Motorsports, Dave Burns, Jim Trado, and myself will be bringing you the American Speed Association from Nashville Speedway, USA, when we go back for the rain-delayed running of the Pontiac Excitement 300. Make sure you see it all Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on TNN Motorsports. Dave Reef has our Heat 2 winner.
Well, Ralph, for a guy who hasn't won a heat race, or excuse me, a feature race yet this year, Andy Hillenburg's Black Deuce was really hauling out there, but you were looking down. There's obviously some concern.
Yeah, we just, I think I got up into mud clod there in 1 and 2. We were running the cushion pretty hard and got up in there a little hard and broke the header pipe off. So that's nothing. We'll put a new one on and we'll be ready to go.
Ready to go for the A main as we get set to go green, guys.
Thank you, Dave. Here's your Heat 3 lineup. Lance Blevins and Dale Blaney make up row 1. Fast Freddie Rahmer alongside of Danny the Dude Lasowski in row 2. Keep your eyes on that one. Shawn Michael and Todd Gracie in row 3. Jess Thompson and Randy Wolf back in row 4. Billy Bryan Jr. in car number 16, one of the top drivers here in Pennsylvania, and Chuck Roan Jr. Of course, Dale Blaney starting up on row number 1, the brother of Dave Blaney, former Outlaw champ, now Busch driver, 13th in driver earnings, 12th in driver standings. Let's check in with Bobby Terrell.
Well, Donnie Kreitz finished second in that last heat race. This is a low groove racetrack tonight. That ought to suit your style.
I don't know. There's a high groove out there for those Outlaw guys. Hopefully we can get them on the bottom. How you doing, LJ? You're in the hospital. Hope you get better.
They wanted to get that word out. We're ready to go racing with heat race number 3, Ralph.
Thank you, Bobby. We're green. Lasowski drops back. Rahmer comes flying forward.
Big contact coming out of turn 2.
The 25 car making a great save. Todd Gracie. It's Blaney, your leader. Rahmer, Blevins, and then the 88 car right behind them is Shawn Michael.
There's Rahmer going after Dale Blaney.
Lasowski now around Michael as Blaney leads Rahmer. Look at Rahmer running on the bottom.
The other night when he won Lernerville, boy, they had high hopes because that was neutral ground for these guys. And as he goes by and takes the lead.
As they were wheel packing this racetrack earlier this afternoon, I watched the Outlaw officials out there intentionally having cars go up high to try to build a high groove quickly.
Blevins, Lasowski, your top 4 finishers rounding it out there, holding on to that transfer spot. Now the Dude goes to the bottom, and Shawn Michael goes up top.
The Dude had such a great run last Friday night, finishing 3rd in the A feature in Terre Haute. Looking for big things tonight. He likes this racetrack.
Look at this battle up front.
I've seen Dale Blaney reach up, pull a tear-off up. Is he trying to, on the outside, this is out of turn 4.
We expect this car to run well because of the man that turns the wrenches on it.
Kenny Woodruff, one of the best mechanics been for years in the world of Outlaws.
Whoa, look at him go high.
Well, Dale Blaney finished 2nd here back in '95 at the old Jack Gunn Memorial. Oh, Lasowski slowing up as Shawn Michael gets around. The 1997 URC Sprint King. Shawn Michael making a great World of Outlaw debut here tonight.
Fred Rahmer told me at Lernerville the other night that they have knocked 50 pounds off their engine, just their engine alone from last season. Said it did funny things with the race car, so they had to rethink their chassis setup, and they felt in the last few weeks that they'd found something. Although they were still winning, they'd won like 11 of the last 14 races, so they weren't slow at any means.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here tonight, Dude gets 4th right back. Boy, he knows he's got to scrap his way into the A main. Rahmer, I think, out front tonight this is all track knowledge. Trying to get around the bottom, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it's also the mechanics of the track knowledge of the racetrack and getting the car set up right.
Great battles going on everywhere as the white flag is out. Rahmer, who recorded his first career World of Outlaw win just 3 nights ago at Lernerville, trying to win his way into the A main. Lasowski fighting with Michael.
Shawn Michael's a 1997 URC champion. He's only been racing a checkered
flag. Rahmer beats Blaney. Blevins, Lasowski gets 4th. Michael will go to the B with nothing to be ashamed of. He gave Lasowski, who's one of the best in the Outlaws, everything he can handle.
And again, this is only his 3rd year in a sprint car. He's coming a long way in a short time.
Well, that's a name to circle on your program, huh? Well, let's check in with the king of the Outlaws downstairs.
Ralph, one of the things we didn't show you last night was Steve Kinser spinning the teeth off the rear end gears with about 3 laps to go in 3rd place. He could already be locked into tonight's race, and unfortunately it only gets worse. You come out and qualified 12th tonight. Doggone it, that's not where you want to be.
No, it's not. We had a good car last night. Didn't qualify real well, but started back 9th and got up to 3rd. And I think we had the fastest car on the track, but went out and qualified bad. I tell you what, I'm going to put somebody else in this thing to qualify, I guess. But we'll just hope the car's as good as it was last night. We can work our way back up through there.
He'll start outside the first row for this next heat race. He also reminded me, guys, there is 10 extra laps for him tonight.
There isn't a driver in the world that would sit in Steve Kinser's sprint car and try to do the job that man has. Stay with us. We'll be back with heat number 4.
For beautiful, healthy trees, you need a fertilizer made for trees. One that feeds underground at the root where trees eat. Job's fertilizer spikes. It's what trees want.
Now the hands that scrub are still gentle enough to soothe. And the hands that tackle grease are still so very kissable. Introducing New Dawn Special Care. Oh, so gentle on hands. Special Care cuts tough grease better than other brands, yet won't remove the natural oils in your skin. Couldn't you use a little Special Care?
Introducing a New Dawn. New Special Care takes grease out of your way.
The Channellock Spring Classic coming your way live on TNN's Motor Madness. We are the leader in live Pennzoil World of Outlaws coverage. You know, it is Wild Wild Web Week here on TNN. Now, what company sponsors the 11H Eagle driven by Greg Hodnett? You want to know? Check out our website at www.country.com. You'll know. Here's a look at the track here at Williams Grove. Let's check in with Bobby Gerald, standing by with our Heat 3 winner,
And that is fast Freddie Rahmer, and he did it from position number 3. And Freddie, I guess par for the course here at Williams Grove. You really had it going well at this place. Dale Blaney gave you a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I didn't move around much there on the track, and sort of, you know, he showed me the top there, and I just wanted to get qualified. I didn't want to make no mistakes, but I should have moved around a little bit more. Hopefully we'll have to make some changes, but we'll be better for the feature. I don't know. We'll just see. Last night, Billy Pouch got hurt. If he's watching, I hope he gets real soon.
Good job, Fred.
Thanks a lot.
We wanted to talk about Billy Pouch. He got hurt last night here. As you take a look at your lineup for heat number 4, Kevin Gobrecht, Steve Kinser, Donnie Schatz, Joe Gertie, Todd Schaefer, Dion Hindy in row 3, Brooke Tatnell, along with Brian Palus in row 4, Cliff Bryan, Steve Kennewell in row 5. Here's your Joe Gertie profile as well. Finished 5th here last night, 7 career A feature wins. Let's check in with Dave Reef, who's standing by with the dude.
Well, Ralph, after starting 4th and finishing 4th, you might expect Danny to be a little bit sour. The Beef Packers car should run a lot better, but you're pretty smiling. What's so funny?
I'll tell you what, we took off on the second lap. I got hit in the head, and I couldn't get the throttle over half wide open, and there's a big boulder underneath the throttle. So we got lucky and got in. I'll tell you what, these Beef Packers guys are doing a good job, and we're glad to be in the dash.
Yeah, that'd do it.
We're about to go green with heat 4 more going on to the A feature. Steve Kinser, your leader. Donnie Schatz fighting for 2nd place. He's got it. Gobrecht in the 92 slots back from the lead position back to 3rd. Gertie in the transfer position. One spot out of it is Todd Schaefer in the 88. King had some problems last night, Brad.
Yeah, they broke a rear end and put him out. So a lot of pieces breaking this year, lightweight pieces that normally wouldn't break.
The King right now is testing that number 11 car. He's running it high, he's running it low, he's running it in the middle, he's in the lead, he's got nothing to lose, he's got to be in the top 4.
Fight for 3rd right here as Gertie comes inside and Gobrecht takes the spot away. That's the 8H on the bottom, Joe Gertie. Gobrecht up top.
Gertie's another driver that usually likes the track a little bit slicker. He's got a nice setup for it, and chassis setup, and he usually goes pretty well.
Donnie Schatz, who had a horrible night here. Look at that. God, I love that.
I'm going to go home and set up all my diecast sprint cars like that. You know, wedge it up.
Gertie, as we cross halfway, was a World of Outlaw winner this year in Houston.
And the thing, I'm sorry, Ralph, but the thing, when they're doing that right there, it's about 140 miles an hour.
Nice. Steve Kinser leading this one. His 32 wins here is the greatest Williams Grove winning percentage in the history of the track. How stout is that?
Boy, they've got the racetrack pushed up real high right now. It's real fast around the top. There's so much momentum they can carry their speed up there, so it's really hard for somebody to run around the bottom and pass.
Your passing is going to primarily be on the straightaways, wouldn't you say, Fred?
Well, yeah, right now it is, and the track's going to get a little drier, a little slicker. If it gets rubber down, the groove would change.
Let's see, King not really picking up that right front. You see that? It just cracked a little bit. His a little different, Brad.
Well, that tells me he probably doesn't have as much right rear weight in the car, which just means that on the big right rear tire, they can adjust the cars, all 4 corners of the car, and put the weight where they want it on each tire.
Hey, at this point, don't bother adjusting it, Steve. You're about to win. Gertie, he's flying that right front big time. Here we come to the checkered flag. Steve Kinser, he's got to win. He's going to the A main. Donnie Schatz joining him. Joe Gertie going along, as is Pennsylvania's own Kevin Gobrecht.
You can bet all the crew members and drivers are going to be down there checking out Steve Kinser's tires.
Yeah, man.
He was pretty dominant in this heat race, so they'll be down there looking at him and seeing how the wear pattern is and what the heat, how much temperature's in it. Okay, have to make a decision.
Got to get this out about Billy Pouch. We haven't had a chance to do it yet. Billy, last night here at the Grove, stood it on its nose down in between turns 3 and 4, broke his kneecap, had surgery on it last night. We don't have confirmation as to what the extent of the damages were to the knee or how long Pouchy's going to be out. But Billy, all of us here at TNN send our best. I know if there's a sprint car race on, if you can't be there, I know you're watching it. Get well soon. Everybody, including Ray Evernham, who I saw the other day in Charlotte, said to say hi to you, Pouchy. So get better quick. get back in the race car. Let's go to Bobby Giro.
Standing alongside Johnny Herrera, who last night finished second here at Williams Grove. And Johnny, you've just watched all the heat races. A little bit difficult to pass out there. You think that's going to be a problem tonight?
Well, yeah, the track's pretty slick. Actually, it's a lot slicker than it was last night at this time. But, you know, we're going to try to get this Casey's General Store Strange Performance car in the victory lane.
Dry tracks so far this year have been pretty good for you, though, right?
Well, yeah, it seems like we ride into the occasion, whether it's Stevie or whether it's dry racetracks. But, you know, we're going pretty good last night. And like I said, the guys are working real hard, and we've had some motor problems here the last couple of weeks. But everything's going our way so far this weekend.
Johnny Herrera, very quietly having a very good year. 8 of his last 9 races, guys, he's been in the top 10.
Well, Steve Evans was the one that gave him the nickname of Hollywood, and he's once again rising to the occasion. There's a look at your top 4 going on to the A main from Heat 4. Don't go away. TNN's bringing you more Outlaws.
So I hear 10321 can save me a lot of money.
Sure, you'll save 50% off every call over 20 minutes by dialing 10321.
Does it matter when I call?
Nope. 10321 saves morning, noon, and night.
Can it save over AT&T One rate?
You bet. 10321 is always cheaper than AT&T One rate on every call over 20 minutes and on all calls all weekend.
Sounds too good.
Don't take my word for it. Just dial 10321, then 1 and the number. You don't have to switch companies. So look for these savings on your phone bill.
I will.
It's a prime time celebration.
Party! Party!
15 years of fun.
Wear something goofy.
Gary Chapman welcomes special guests Garth, Dolly, Lorianne, Charlie, Ralph, Brian White.
Give me more, more, more!
Plus 15 years of magic with superstars to salad bars. And a whole lot more.
Did I mention free snacks?
Primetime Country celebrates 15 years of TNN. Monday night at 9 Eastern.
It's life on the edge, pushed to the extreme. ASA Racing. The S stands for speed.
The Pontiac Excitement 300, Sunday at 3:30 Eastern on TNN Motorsports.
Man, the first time I looked at a picture of me, I was like, wow, Wayne, what happened? I was fat. I lost over 50 pounds on a Slim Fast plan. I finally found something that worked for me. It's easy. It tastes great. Once I lost the weight, my energy skyrocketed right through the roof. It makes you feel good after working out.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I look at life totally different now.
Slim Fast, every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
Anybody can do it if I can do it.
An unsecured Revelation MasterCard can be yours right now with no security deposit. Just call this toll-free number. If you meet these simple requirements, you're approved. Regardless of your past credit history, even if you've been turned down before, if you're at least 18 with a social security number, phone number, and address, you're approved. Call this toll-free number now and say yes to this no-risk limited-time offer. Your unsecured Revelation MasterCard is waiting. Call now.
We're back to beautiful Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Hey, don't forget, next Friday night, more Motor Madness, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TNN Motorsports. Demo Derby from Georgia. Dusty Rhodes and the gang will be here for more Motor Madness next Friday night. Dave Reeves standing by in pit lane.
I'm down with Steve Kinser, the winner of our 4th heat race, and I don't know if it can be said that there is such a thing as an easy sprint car race, but starting from the front row on a track that you know very well, looked like you were just out there kind of testing a little bit.
Well, wish we was going to be starting up that way tonight, but it's not. We had little problems last night, had a good race car, and then got qualified bad tonight, so we're going to be starting back about 16th, so we better be awful fast, all I can say.
I'm sure your elbows will be up. You know this racetrack. Can you come to the front from that far back?
I don't know. I think we can get up pretty good ways, but there's too many good cars up there toward the front. You just can't spot them first 6 cars as much as we're going to. But I mean, we lost a set of quick change gears last night, or we'd have been right there with them. And I think we had something for them, but probably unlikely tonight.
Well, if you play the percentages, they say you got to finish in the top, or excuse me, start in the top 8 to pick up a feature win. But if there's anybody that can do it from further back, it's Steve Kinser. Bobby?
And Dave, the only guy that has done it from farther back than 8th this year was Mark Kinser, and I believe we're looking at Carl Kinser right now, his father, who's getting a good look at that dirt. Tyler Walker's out there trying to learn something, and we are standing alongside the wild child, Jack Haudenschild. And Jack, what's Carl doing out there?
Well, it looks like he's picking up some big mud clots that are laying on the track. You know, them hit you in the helmet or hit you in the shield, and they hurt pretty bad. So he's just throwing some of them off, it looks like.
It is a pretty serious matter. I know last night Sammy Swindell had a rock come up through. It actually cut his boot and cut his foot up pretty good. How much debris do you guys face out there?
Well, we get quite a bit there. You know, we get some rocks and quite a few rocks and stuff. But, you know, hopefully the hood will shield it off of us, but sometimes it don't.
You're looking nice and relaxed right now. Is that the benefit of being locked into the dash from finishing in the top 4 last night?
Yeah, that's really nice to get locked in. You know, we got the Pennzoil car locked in last night, so you know, it helps not to come back the next night and have to qualify, because a lot of times you'll end up 10th pretty easy the second night. So we're locked in. Hopefully we can do good in the dash.
All right, before we let you go, we do want to ask you very quickly, Indianapolis this weekend. I know you had some hopes of maybe getting to race there. Where does that stand now? Is it still something you want to do in the future?
Yeah, we've been talking to the guys at Panther Racing, and you know, we're hoping maybe to get in a race later on in the year, or maybe some testing with them guys. So you know, we're still keeping our hopes up.
All right, he's keeping hope alive, Steve Evans.
Well, Bobby Gerald, nobody works quite like Carl Kinser does. That's his idea of gardening. Out on the racetrack, kicking off the big clods that might hit a driver square in the head. And let's remember tonight that the points battle right now is between Stevie Smith of Pennsylvania and Mark Kinser, the son of Carl, who drives his car. We got any Stevie Smith fans here tonight? Just a few. Yeah. Well, what about Mark Kinser, huh? Ooh, pretty quiet there. He's in a tough part of the country. You know, no one has ever dominated an American series as Carl Kinser has as a crew chief and car owner. Let's meet the man who's enjoying himself.
I had an automobile business, auto sales and a body shop, and of course the energy crunch thing came along, and you couldn't give a car away unless it had 80 miles a gallon. So I sold all my cars, and I was kind of sitting around unemployed, and so the World of Outlaw thing came along, and we got Steve to drive the car for us then, and that turned out real good. And of course Mark, he was still in I think like the 8th grade then. I explained to Mark whenever he wanted to drive that Steve was my driver, and however his accomplishments, he kind of had to do that on his own. I could give him advice, but I don't think anyone can make a race car driver. He's got to have the desire and the skill and the reaction to do it. And from that point, Mark just kind of kept plugging away, you know, and every once in a while I'd ask him, you know, what do you think about your driving career? And he said, you know, I think I'll be all right. I've always been the type car owner, no matter who's driving my car, he's number one. And kind of the age with the rest of them, if you know what I mean, when it comes to the racetrack. So Mark went to driving, and we had a few heated discussions of what he thought and what I thought. And I said, well, I can tell you I've won a lot more races than you have, and I'm right. Mark went into that a little bit, I guess, in a hurry. That truck thing was underfunded. And when you're playing NASCAR, I guess you might say, if you're underfunded, you're out. I mean, you may have one good race out of X, but that circuit there, if you don't have the funds, it'll let you know where you're at in a hurry. It confused him a little bit there for a while, but I told him to do whatever he thought's right. He did, and he came back.
So Carl Kinser, the man behind the working 5M of Mark Kinser. One of the greatest ever to turn the wrenches, a real living legend inside this division. Let's check in with the man live, standing by with Bobby Gerald.
Well, guys, here is the dirt, and here is Carl Kinser. They have a very special relationship, Carl, in this dirt. And, Carl, we saw you out here kind of fiddling with it. What are you doing?
Well, they've a lot of these dirt piles here just kind of stuck to the racetrack, and they weigh about 5 pounds apiece, and a car comes along, flips them up in the air, and if a driver catches one of them, why, it's probably KO him or knock his hood off or whatever. So I just
picking some of them up.
Just doing a little maintenance out here. Now, we've got to ask you, last night, Mark was able to get the feature win, made a nice move on Johnny Herrera. But you guys have switched things up a little bit. The VW hood is off of there, and what necessitated that move?
Well, we ran at Terre Haute there. We ran hot. The engine ran hot, and we went to Lernerville and ran hot again. So the conventional hood has a bigger radiator in it, so we went back to that just to prevent another meltdown. So hopefully try to keep my engine program up to date.
All right, and looking for yet another feature win tonight.
We'll be right back to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Williams Grove. We're at the Grove with Live Outlaws, returning after this.
If you remember correctly, I paid last time.
You didn't pay last time.
Great test. He was polished. I was wondering what that was.
Introducing the Coca-Cola ATM MasterCard. Redeemable at any MasterCard ATM for up to $100. If you haven't found one yet, keep looking.
Most people know me as George Strait, the singer or entertainer. But I also like to raise a few horses and do a little team roping. And a big part of what we do every week is found at Tractor Supply Company. So whether you're ranching, farming, or taking care of just 1 or 2 acres, Tractor Supply Company will help you get the job done.
It's what most men can only dream about. Powerful engines, rumbling exhausts, miles of chrome, and over 175 channels. Right now during Honda Dream Days, buy a Shadow or Magnum. Get a satellite dish and 6 months of DirecTV. Or choose 7.9 APR with no down payment. So why dream when you can ride? Honda ends May 31st. You'll even get a commemorative pin for showing up.
1 minute Maalox.
Heartburn at this hour is a nightmare. That unbearable burning. I need something that starts to work fast. The minute I take Maalox, I know help is on the way.
1 minute Maalox. Cooling, coating, calming. You can feel it right away. Maalox goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepsid AC could take over 45 minutes to affect acid.
I can't afford to lose any sleep. Thanks, Maalox.
For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on 1 minute Maalox.
Motor Madness, brought to you by Honda Motorcycles, celebrating the dream during our 50-year anniversary. And by Maalox. For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on 1 minute Maalox.
Sun is going down here in the night sky over Williams Grove Speedway. 1997 Pennzoil World of Outlaw champion is Sammy Swindell. He is standing by with Dave Reed.
And Ralph, thanks to a third-place finish, he has locked himself into tonight's racing action. That's why we haven't seen from or heard from him yet. But it didn't look that way when you started last night. Let's go back to that heat race when you happened to get upside down. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I just got caught. I was going around the outside of a guy, and a guy on the inside decided to move right up in front of him and got him in the wall and caught me in the wall. So we took the Channellock car over a couple times, but we were pretty fortunate that it didn't really bend up a whole lot of things. And we were able to just get back in it and fire it up and, you know, and take off again.
Did you think you could get back in, transfer out of that heat, and still finish third? That's a pretty large climb after the start.
Yeah, I didn't know. You know, starting that far back, and we were fortunate that some guys didn't make it, you know, or had some problems, and you know, we were able to put a wing on it and get back out there.
First time we'll see him is in the dash coming up in just a little bit, where he will start inside the second row, guys.
Well, that demonstrates how durable these sprint cars truly are. Stay with us, everybody. If the driver had bad luck tonight, he finds himself in the C main. It's his last chance.
Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm .com. Stay tuned. This is TNN's Wild, Wild Web Week.
Plunger.
Hello.
Spud wrench.
Hello.
In my mind, Bart, the greeter parrot, would end up being as friendly and knowledgeable as our True Value salespeople.
Quarter-inch variable speed drill.
Hello.
Well, just friendly. Come on, Bart.
Hello.
Parts for sprint cars and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for NASCAR Super Truck and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
Only one full-size pickup delivers the strong, even release of power that comes from having a flat torque curve. Sierra by GMC. Sierra gives you the style to stand apart from the herd and the smooth, steady power it takes to leave it behind. Sierra by GMC, putting you comfortably in command.
Nestle Flips. They're completely irresistible. Ooh, I think I'll have one more. Right after this one. Rolled Gold pretzels and Nestle milk chocolate.
I'd share, but why?
Nestle Flips. What's your excuse?
In racing, there are no second chances. You blink, you lose. You win. It's a rush. Splitfire, the choice of NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion Jim Yates.
Look for the Splitfire Spark Plug $1.50 rebate at auto parts retailers everywhere.
Live from the electrifying arena in Music City, USA.
This is it.
It's the Fan Show, the TNN Music City News Country Awards, hosted by Jeff Foxworthy.
The stars are here.
The TNN Music City News Country Awards, live June 15th, 8 Eastern, only on America's Country Home, TNN.
Well, the C feature is off here for the Channellock Spring Classic. They've pushed him off, and they're lining up behind the Pennzoil World of Outlaw pace truck. Getting ready to take 10 laps and 2 drivers onto the back of the B. Craig Delansky and Brian Palus will make up row number 1. Billy Wilburn, Sean Keane in row 2. Row 3, the brothers, Billy Bryan and Cliff Bryan. George Suprick and Darren Esch in row 4. And Chuck Rowan and Steve Kennewell in row 5.
Actually, that's Randy Wolf on the front row, not Craig Delansky. It's 75W.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is.
Yeah, Randy Wolf on the front row.
Right there. Randy Wolf is the guy in there.
Hey, Ralph, you always see a lot of interesting sponsors on this car. One of them is a town tonight. The 22R car of Chuck Roan is being sponsored by Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That's the home to the Little League World Series and the start of Little League as you know it. The deal is this. They will help try to find him a sponsor if they'll give Williamsport, a booming economic town, a little support tonight. Pretty nice gesture for that town.
Love this shot.
That's just half the length of the back straightaway. That's from the bridge, and that's just halfway. That's a long back straightaway.
You know, back in the middle of the field, the brothers that we were talking about, Billy Bryan and Cliff Bryan. Billy Bryan actually won an Outlaw feature. You're going to go clear back to 1993, and the history books will find, but he did.
No start on this one. So we'll line him back up.
Everybody just a little bit anxious. As I said, it is their last chance. If they don't finish in the top 2 here, they can beat the traffic or come into the grandstands and join all the fans, one or the other.
Yeah, it really gets tough for the guys. You know, they've struggled all night to be back in this race, and you know, they right there's the 75 of Randy Wolf.
Semi-regular in 1984 and 1990 with the Outlaws.
He's run a lot of laps here to Williams Grove as well. Local runs this area every weekend.
And flames on that car, Ralph.
One of my favorite things. You know it, Evans. I'm telling you, flames on a race car. That scores big points with me.
You got flames on your Harley?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Key term being yet. Well, we'll be going green when we come back around. This C main is scheduled for 10 laps. 2 drivers will go to the back of the B. Go green, green, green.
So yeah, even if you do transfer, it's a long way, which we've seen before. Guys can do it, but boy, it's a long way from the back.
But you make a little more money too. I mean, you get on down the highway.
We're green. Wolf trying to hang on to the bottom of the lead, but here comes Palus around the outside. He'll take it. Got his only career win here last year, did Palus. He's holding on right now. Wolf running in second.
Sean Keane there in a 53 on the bottom. Now he slides up into the middle of the racetrack. Just couldn't make it stick down there on the bottom.
Keane 53 car.
For the younger drivers, too, Brad, this is a good chance for more seat time, more experience on a well-prepared racetrack. In front of a big crowd, national television, it's all there.
Yeah, you just can't beat it. You can't beat the experience. We talked about the age of these drivers last week. That, you know, there's fourth place right there. Billy Wilburn on the outside.
Billy Wilburn in the 0 has got to hustle back to Charlotte tomorrow. He's got to change tires for Rusty Wallace on the Winston Cup car. And Sunday's running in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Let me finish that thought, Steve. You know, at one time they thought if you were 35 years old in a sprint car, that you were old, but boy, the experience just pays off, and these guys are still winning races, the older guys.
There's Wilburn fighting it out with the 16C of Cliff Bryan. There's a fight for second as Keene gets inside now. Keene, a Selinsgrove winner in 97.
And it's interesting because Randy Wolf drove for Sean Keene's dad for years in the 5W, the Keene Transport Trucking sponsored car.
Now, there were two dramatically different lines. One as low as you can get, one as high as you can get.
Look at Wolf trying to get back to the bottom. Keene in the purple car and second up top.
Well, that's one of the things about a racetrack like this. If it does get a little drier, it does give us multiple grooves. If the track's too wet and sticky, everybody runs wide open and real fast, and there's not a lot of passing going on. Now it's up to the mechanics to get the chassis set.
Hey, Wilburn's trying to catch him, too. Billy Wilburn making a good run at him. Wilburn, who finished 6th in an ASCS race earlier this year, making this a 3-car fight for the final transfer.
When he's running extreme high down in turn 4, let's see what he does. Yes, again, down into turn 1, sticking the right rear up on the cushion. You can see him lean on it right there coming off of turn 2.
I guarantee you, Rusty and the boys all sitting around the TV cheering on their teammate tonight. And you know, these guys battling like this, that's slowing them up and allowing Wilburn to catch them.
Absolutely. He likes to see that, those guys up there racing like that.
Meanwhile, out front, Brian Palus checked out, so this is the fight to keep your eyes on. Look at the gap. There's your leader going through turn 3. Coming out of 4, there's second, just going into turn 3.
Look at Wilburn close in right there.
Is he up on the fence line, too?
Well, I tell you what he really needs right now is a caution to bunch this back up to give him a chance to get a run on them on a restart.
Wilburn in the 0 Meade back car. He'd be a player if they would get a yellow, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he would. I really think he found something up there, but he's just we got 1 lap to go, so time's just running out.
Billy Bryan is pulled into the pit lane, the 16 done for the night. Wilburn pedaling as hard as he can. Can't seem to catch him.
There's Brian Paulus, our leader, going into turn 3.
He's going to go on to the B feature. Who's going to go with him? Maybe Randy Wolf. Paulus gets the win. He goes to the B, and coming off of turn 4, it will be Wolf, then Keene, and then Billy Wilburn. Paulus will now take the 28 into the pit area. He'll have a chance to gas her back up, make a few adjustments. We'll have the dash coming up before the B. So plenty more live Pennzoil World of Outlaw Sprint Car Racing coming your way on this Friday night. TNN's Motor Madness, your Friday night fix of adrenaline.
From your hiding place overlooking the savannah, you watch the herd of zebras graze by the river. It's nearing sunset. You see the animals below raise their heads as if sensing danger. Suddenly something moves in the brush behind you. You look and see an armadillo staring back at you. You think, they don't have armadillos in Africa. And then you realize you must be in Texas.
For a more unique vacation experience than you ever imagined, come to Texas. It's like a whole other country.
Not again.
I was a 98-pound weakling.
Bully.
Then I called for the free Texas travel guide. It's swell. Everywhere I go, I carry the entire state of Texas with me. From the canyons of Big Bend to the big city. And thanks to the Texas travel guide, I found the beaches where the people are friendly.
Howdy.
No more sand in the face for me.
For your free Texas travel guide, call 1-800-8888-TEX.
Dogs have an uncanny sense of hearing, but they can't tell you if running, climbing, or even walking hurts or makes them stiff. So it's up to you. To help keep your dog active and healthy, ask your veterinarian how Rimadyl has relieved arthritis pain for more than 500,000 dogs.
How did you get
As with other pain relievers in this class, digestive and liver side effects may occur. Available by prescription only.
What's the best part of a caramel apple? If it's made with Hershey's Classic Caramel, it's the caramel. Introducing Hershey's Classic Caramels. Traditional or chocolate cream filled. The only caramel good enough to eat, all by itself.
Back at the Grove for a daily helping of racing, romance, and Roscoe P. Coltrane. Don't miss the Dukes of Hazzard. See it weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern right here at America's Country Home, TNN. To Dave Reed.
Ralph Tyler Walker's one of those guys battling out for the Rookie of the Year, but he's been looking a whole lot better than that. Last night came from 18th to 13th. Not bad for your third time here.
Yeah, we got into some trouble in qualifying, then did pretty bad in the heat race, but we got going better at the feature, and we get a rhythm going, there'd be a yellow, you know, and I'd have to start over and get my rhythm back up. But I'm pretty excited tonight. I just found out my stepmom's pregnant, and we're gonna have I'm gonna have a little brother, a little sister, so that'll be pretty neat. And I gotta say hi to my mom because I forgot to last time, and it was Mother's Day. So hi, Mom.
Better late than never there, Mom. He'll be starting the dash in the 5th row, which guarantees him a first 4-row starting spot for tonight's A main, guys.
Tyler Walker, the quick guy in qualifying here tonight. Tires, there's a big decision. We'll have more for you when we come back.
The 1991 NASCAR Winston Cup season saw the battle for the championship come down to a 3-driver shootout. Over the final 10 races, Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, and an emerging Davey Allison were locked in a fight for the title. Earnhardt could have clinched it after Rudd wrecked late in the mellow yellow 500, but Dale fell out with a blown engine, continuing the battle for 2 more races. After taking the AC Delco 500 at Rockingham, Davey Allison captured his 2nd straight. With a victory at Phoenix, Davey moved to 2nd in points. But Earnhardt's 9th place finish allowed him to claim the title by simply starting his engine in the final race in Atlanta. The final outcome showed Earnhardt the winner by 195 points over Rudd and 199 over Allison in another great point race to the finish.
It's NASCAR's stress test. Every turn, every pit stop has to be right. Because at Dover, there's no such thing as a second chance. See the MBNA Platinum 400, May 31st at noon Eastern on TNN Motorsports.
Springtime in Nashville, Tennessee. Get away to the great indoors. Opryland Hotel is a springtime paradise under glass. And now through May 28th, our springtime getaway packages start at just $189 per person.
Or take advantage of this special offer. On select dates, room-only rates are just $59.50 per person, including the celebrity breakfast.
Call 1-800-316-1316. Get away to the great indoors at Opryland Hotel.
You name it, I ate it. Cookies and cake and donuts. You know, whatever the kids were eating. I was fat. I wanted to get healthy. I lost 43 pounds on the Slim Fast plan. Slim Fast made it easy. I don't have to worry about measuring, mixing, weighing food. It's great. It's a healthy way of life.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
My energy's amazing. It makes my life fun.
Slim Fast, every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
I'm much happier now.
We're back live, Motor Madness on TNN Motorsports. Without showing my big size 15 Nikes here, take a look at this racetrack. A tip of the hat to the guys that prepare it because it is absolutely beautiful. And certainly the winner of the C-Main enjoyed it, right, Bobby Gerald?
Yes, he did, and his name is Brian Palus. Let me show you Brian Palus's left rear tire here. It heated up a little bit during the course of that C-Main, and as you can see, it did blister a little bit around the edges. Didn't wear too much, but it did get awfully hot, and guys who are running in the B-Main, the upcoming dash, taking note of that. Probably means that, Brian, you were just out there driving pretty hard, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you can't get much higher on the track than the wall, and the only thing you can do is really lean up against and hope that one of your tires gets a hold.
Now, I guess the kind of good news, bad news is, good news, you move on. Bad news, you got to start way in the back here in this B-Main, and there are so many good guys. Do you think you have a legitimate shot of making the feature tonight?
To be honest, not really, but we're going to see how far up we can get. You know, we'd like to put on a good show for Verdelli Farms and Doorways Unlimited, and
see if maybe we can get them into the show. All right, stick it right up there where Fonzie used to live, upstairs, and you'll be doing fine. Steve?
Where did that line come from? There's another father-son team besides the Kinsers having a huge impact in the sport. And for the older fans here, long before there was a Stevie Smith on top of the Outlaw points to root for out here, there was a Steve Smith, his father. And believe me, one of the reasons for their success is because this man can do it all. He can build you a race car. He can build you a motor. He obviously can train his fine young son into being a competitive talent. Let's meet Steve Smith.
Just 25 minutes down the road from the Grove lies the home to one of Sprint Car's best crew chiefs. No, it's not Carl Kinser or Kenny Woodruff. It's Steve Smith. Thanks to 4 feature wins and a ton of consistency, the new Oxford, PA resident and his son Stevie is leading the Outlaw points for the first time ever. They're not just keeping up with the Kinsers and Swindells, they're setting the pace thanks to the SMART program.
It stands for Smith Machine and Racing Technology. It's our own motors. We start out with our motors at 406 inches. We do that. I mean, it's not quite as good as a 409, but that way we can use the block for a rebuild 2 or 3 times, and then our last one will be right at 409.
Talk to the rest of the competition. They think their advantage lies in their special coil-over car. Another Steve Smith original, the car is not only built for speed, but also safety.
When we first designed the car and built it last year, mostly for safety, just kind of protect the driver's shoulder, sitting back in the cage a little further, and ran a couple bars on top of the cage there just in case, because some cars have been, if they're laying on their side, a car could get into their head, or if the wing came off and you get upside down and get on a post or something. I've seen a lot of different accidents where people have been hurt, and I've been in a few of them myself. So we just tried to do stuff that would help, that other people's been hurt in, really.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. If that's the case and the Smiths can hold on to that points lead, next year the rest of the pack may be chasing a guy named Steve rather than a guy named Carl.
Thank you, Dave Reef. Not only is that an adorable little girl, she's got some smart parents. You see those earplugs in her hands? When you bring your kids to the races, there's a tip for you. Well, stay with us, because when we come back, we've got the Fiver and Dash, and that's where you'll see all the hitters for the first time tonight. It determines the lineup of the A feature.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use the Suarez in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Michelle never cleans her shower, but her shower's fresh and clean every time she gets in it. Because she's discovered something totally new. Tilex Fresh Shower. After her shower, she sprays a gentle mist. No scrubbing or even rinsing. Because new Tilex Fresh Shower keeps soap scum and mildew from building up. Now you'll never have to clean your shower again. Try new Tilex Fresh Shower.
Boom, here we go. Get it out. People are wild about it in the restaurant.
People love this dish.
Pork.
Pork.
Hey, guys, we're popular again.
Yeah, with mashed potatoes.
That is good, I'll guarantee.
Want to know the secret to the primetime porterhouse at the Palm Steakhouse? A1 steak sauce and the marinade. A1, a marinade, a seasoning, a 136-year-old secret.
It's the most dangerous 8 seconds on television. Hang on for the Ty Murray Invitational, part of the PBR Bud Light Cup Tour, Sunday, 9 Eastern on TNN.
We're back to the Channellock Spring Classic live here on TNN's Motor Madness. As you're on board with Johnny Herrera. Casey's General Food Stores, number 47, Gil Saunders machine. Here's your lineup for the Channellock Dash. Mark Kinser on the inside. Johnny Herrera, you ride with him on the outside. Sammy Swindell, 97 Outlaw champ on the inside. Jack Hodenshield, the wild child on the outside. Tyler Walker, tonight's fast timer, back in row 3 with Donnie Kreitz, 69, and Danny Lasowski. Joe Gertie rounding out row 4.
And it's very important that this is where they finish. This is how they line the main event up for tonight's big race.
It's a 5-lap affair, and we've got an onboard camera with Sammy Swindell, too. That should be a good view as he lines up behind Mark Kinser.
Now, this is the way they finished last night. As you're looking there, Mark Kinser won it, Johnny Herrera second, Sammy third, Hodenshield fourth, and the 4 behind him were the fast qualifiers that made it through the heat again. So.
And Sammy's going to give us another view as well. This one looking back at Tyler Walker. Got a camera that looks both ways. Johnny Herrera's got a backwards view as well for us tonight. Off the back of the 47, there you see it. Looking back at the Pennzoil 22. Guy Forbrook tunes it. Jack Hodenshield drives it.
So if the back camera suddenly becomes the front camera, you know you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble. Well, we're going to have to call this one here pretty soon, the Good Eatin' Nationals, because Bev Warner brought us some whoopie pies. And Paul Latier, the famous Pennsylvania sprint car driver, his family heard you and I talking about shoe fly pie last week from Terre Haute. So they brought us one of those.
Boy, was it good, too.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm starting to like this crow deal. The Good Eatin' Nationals. Oh, here we go, and already Sammy and Jack getting into it a little bit. Herrera's got the lead. Mark Kinser's in second. Third is Jack Hodenshield. Fourth is Sammy. Fifth is Donnie Kreitz, Tyler Walker, Joe Gertie, and Lasowski brings up the rear.
That's how the back of Herrera. That's Mark Kinser. You see right behind him there. This is down the front straightaway. Herrera running the high line. Mark Kinser, you get out of your view now, is on the bottom. Look at the rooster tails flying off the back of the car there.
Look at the front wheel coming up there on Herrera. Mark goes upstairs. Johnny on the bottom. We'll make our way back through. Here's the fight going on for third. There's Hodenshield, Sammy, Donnie Kreitz, Tyler Walker. Boy, Donnie Kreitz is having a great night. And he likes that bottom, and he goes back downstairs as he currently runs in fifth.
Herrera went to the bottom coming out of turn number 2 and scrubbed up an awful lot of speed. You can see the car just slow down as the motor grunted to pull out of that tight corner.
On board, Sammy Swindell looking back at Donnie Kreitz. See Sammy, what kind of a rooster tail he's got. Here's the fight for the lead. Mark Kinser has closed up on Herrera. You heard Steve talk about him losing momentum. Don't want to do that in a sprint car, do you?
No, when I've seen Herrera is running the bottom in 3 and 4 and the top down in 1 and 2. This is into 1 and 2 right now. Mark's on the inside of him.
Where's Mark? Where'd he go? There he is. And you're seeing more than Johnny Herrera is seeing because he has no rear view mirror. It's all sound.
What happens when a guy runs the bottom or the top like that? The guy on the top runs in has to get out of the throttle, roll in on the top, and let's see, this one's over.
It is over, and what an impressive performance by Johnny Herrera in what amounted to a match race with Mark Kinser. Mark's going to pull up alongside him and say, don't ever do that again.
Herrera the win. Mark Kinser gets second. Then it's Hodenshield, Sammy, Kreitz, Walker. We'll get you the rest after that.
Herrera and Gil Saunders crew, they're another team that has a good, slick racetrack setup, and they usually go pretty well.
Boy, did they ever.
But you know, walking on this racetrack down there as I was, it sure doesn't feel slick. I mean, my old Nikes were digging in pretty good.
Well, the straightaways are still pretty good shape, but the corners, if you look, there's a black kind of a, there's no rubber down. That's a glaze slick, we call it, and boy, that's hard to get a hold of. As the night goes on, it'll probably get a little rubber down and get stickier.
Yeah, but he was probably siping his Nikes, too.
Were you, Steve?
Let me tell you, feet my big, they're hard to get off the ground on any surface. Nice little bonus from Channellock in the dash for Johnny Herrera of Tempe, Arizona.
Some of the folks here in the grandstands having a great night, enjoying great sprint car racing with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws on a beautiful night here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Johnny Herrera is the winner. He's standing by with Dave Reef and Bobby Jackson's down there.
Bobby is here as well, congratulating Johnny Herrera. Johnny, a great dash win. Tell you what, though, I looked a little reminiscent of last night, but this time you got the win.
Well, I got him. I got a good start there, and you know, I just thought if I could beat her the first corner, I'd try the top the first lap. I seen him down there in the bottom, and then we had a good race. You know, he's in the top, bottom. I kept moving around, see where I was a little bit better at, and, you know, where the car felt better and where we were faster. And so far, you know, it looks like we hit it pretty good so far.
Good enough for the pole position. Here to congratulate him is Bill DeArmond of Channellock, the president of the company. Bill, with the sponsorship of Sammy, Swindell, and the great night of racing here, and now the Channellock Dash, your involvement just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. You guys must like this.
Oh, it's great. The Outlaws, it's great people, great fans, great competitors. It's fast action, it's action-packed, and the Outlaws staff, Ted Johnson and Carlton and everybody, they do a wonderful job for us. I couldn't ask for a better venue to celebrate and promote our products.
Well, we're sure glad you're out here, too, and wish you the continued success.
Thank you, and hope everybody has a great night tonight.
That's Bill DeArmond, president of Channellock, sponsoring our great night of racing here, guys.
Is there a mechanic alive who doesn't own at least one pair of Channellock pliers? I can't imagine what you'd do without them.
Yeah, now you can get your own Sammy Swindell version of them, too.
Autograph model pliers.
Oh, yeah.
His mom is proud.
To Bobby Gerald.
Well, the B main is coming up, and the good-looking driver of number 18, the Samstown Hotel and Gambling Hall, number 18, is Dion Hendy. Dion, you're going to be starting 8th in this upcoming B main. You got upside down last night. Is everything all right with your racer here tonight?
Yeah, everything's just fine. I got up there just a little bit over the cushion and just caught the wall with the bumper, and it just spun it around and got over.
Top 4 will transfer out of that B main and move up into the 30-lap feature. So you've got your work cut out for you here a little bit. Which groove are you going to try to utilize?
I don't know. Actually, because we're starting so far back, we're going to have to pretty much go wherever the guy in front of me is not. Bonsai's been doing pretty good, and we've talked about it a little bit, and I think we might have figured something out to get a little faster.
All right, if you're wondering who Bonsai is, that's his crew chief, Dean Bruns.
Neon Dion Hendy, movie star good looks and a terror behind the wheel. All right, stay with us when we come back. The B main, which is usually one of the more interesting races on an Outlaw night. Hang in there.
Well, little boy, this is Singing Bob saying adios. Till next time.
Singing Bob.
Hey, I'm home.
Dad.
Guess whose ranch got a new air conditioner today?
Singing Bob. So when you go back, I could go too and ride his trusty horse Bullet?
Whoa, son. I won't be going back to Singing Bob's for a long, long time. Singing Bob bought a train.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for Channellock. For the precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one, Channellock. Reach for it.
Dogs have an uncanny sense of hearing, but they can't tell you if running, climbing, or even walking hurts or makes them stiff. So it's up to you. To help keep your dog active and healthy, ask your veterinarian how Rimadyl has relieved arthritis pain for more than 500,000 dogs. As with other pain relievers in this class, digestive and liver side effects may occur. Available by prescription only.
When you buy a set of split-fire spark plugs, you get the same technology that ignites Jim Yates, NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion, with quarter-mile in under 7 seconds. The legendary split-fire Performance V spark plug, because performance is everything. Parachute sold separately.
Clean is my business. So when I'm on the road, Super 8's my motel. Clean carpets, clean seats, clean. Clean inside and out. Life's great at Super 8.
It's You to Fan Week on TNN.
Who to fan?
We to Fan! It's everything from the TNN Music City News Country Awards to videos.
With the stars live from Fanfare. Who to fan?
We to Fan!
It's You to Fan Week.
And it's all for you.
The Fan!
Starting June 15th on TNN.
Big line at concession stand here in the Channellock Spring Classic. Get a slice for $1.50. That sounds pretty tempting. Well, it is Wild Wild Web Week here on TNN. We got some more trivia for you. The only place you can find out about it is country.com if you want to get the answer. But here's the question. Who is the founder and president of the World of Outlaws? If you want the answer, visit our TNN website at www.country.com.
How do we know who the winner is? Is there a winner?
Everybody's a winner if you hit our done.
Everybody's a winner on TNN. Ever the diplomat.
Yep.
My buddy Rob Shaheen. Well, in the B main, only 4 go on to the A. Top 2 get their time back from time trials to slide up in the A field wherever they fit. And the top 4 are inverted here. Let's go down to Bobby Gerald in the 8H pit.
All right, Steve, I have a little story to tell you guys. Tim Riley is the gentleman who is standing next to me. He's from San Diego, California. And earlier this year, when TNN was at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, he came up to Joe Gertie's crew chief, Brian Sperry, and said, hey, man, I'll do anything to help out. I'm just really looking for a ride to Georgia. You guys headed that way? They put him to work, and now here you are, a full-time World of Outlaws crew member. How'd that happen?
I just went out and did it. You know, that's all it takes is taking the first step. I went out. That's what I wanted to do. Want to get on a crew. I love the racing, and went out and went around to all the crews. And Brian, he kind of went out on a limb and picked me up. Learned a lot of stuff.
What's it been like for you? You're staying at all the, I'm sure, the finest motels in some of these small towns. And what do you do at home when the team is in Indiana?
We just put cars together. You know, we keep working. Preparation is the ticket here, and we're always working on something.
And I understand his living quarters are actually at the Gertie Engine Shop, correct?
That's true. Sleep in Joe's, like, old bed. This thing's a relic from way back. And, yeah, it's not the finest, but it's in the shop, and we get her done.
All right, a good story from down here in the pits. Steve, Ralph, Brad.
Anything to go racing, huh, Brad?
That's what it takes. A lot of dedication, a lot of hard work.
Here's your B main lineup. Remember, 4 cars coming out of this going to the A. Todd Schaefer and Shawn Michael, a pair of 88s in row 1. Jeff Swindell with the Ford. Tim Schaefer had a good run in his heat in row 2. Mike Wagner and Dave Ely. Todd Gracie and Dion Hindy running out row 4. Darren Pittman and Danny Smith in the 21S. Row 6, Jess Thomas and Brooke Tatnell. Deuce Terrell turning the wrenches for him. Glenn Thompson, Craig Delansky in the Mopar in the 75 in row 7. Brian Palus, Randy Wolf to come out of the C, the back of the B.
I'm a little surprised to see 75 Craig Delansky, the Mopar car, back down the next to the last row in the B. They really started to show some potential last weekend in Terre Haute, but apparently struggling here.
Ely apparently having problems with the 77E, having trouble keeping it in gear. We'll see if he makes the start or not. There's Craig Delansky's Mopar.
That's Marshall Campbell is the new crew chief on that. He's working on a percentage only, no salary. They took him on, decided to give him an incentive to work hard, and they've been changing engines, trying different things, plugging in different motor combinations, and hopefully they'll come up with something.
What do you first remember about coming to Williams Grove?
Long straightaways. But I came here as a fan the first time. Saw Jan Opperman and Kenny Weld, and people used to camp out here and had a bonfire going, and it was
still do.
Yeah, it was the Hodgshield brothers and I, and picked up a guy hitchhiking right out here that had a guitar on his back, brought him to the campfire, and sat around and sang songs. And
your parents don't know about this, do they?
They probably they do now.
They do now. What'd you think about those old cars?
Oh, great old, race cars. I mean, Jan Opperman's car, to look at it, looked like a piece of junk, and they just cut and whittled on that thing and got it fast, and he won races everywhere.
Sounds like an old trip to West Capitol Speedway. What do you think, Bobby?
West Capitol Speedway, that's my favorite racetrack in the world. It's now defunct. Dave Ely, what's keeping you out of this B-main?
I don't know. The motor just won't fire. We've been battling motor problems for the last 2 nights, and now tonight it just won't fire.
Well, we're sorry to see you out here. We would have liked to watch you in this one as we get set to go green.
For those of you that don't know, West Capitol was in Sacramento. That's where Bobby and I grew up watching races. Here we go, green.
Tim Schaefer really hunting, trying to get that red car through. Has to settle for 3rd place right now. Boy, he was looking to make a move going into turn 1.
Everybody just searching around all over the racetrack, trying to find out where their race car is suited best.
Coming to the line, 3 wide. Michael Schaefer, your top 2.
Schaefer in 3rd. Jeff Swindell 4th.
Harris Schaefer's up in there. Todd Shaffer's in the white 88. Tim Shaffer's in the Apple Chevy number 12.
And they're no relation as of
Nope.
brothers we had earlier, but they're no relation.
Don Michael was the winner at Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania earlier this year. Boy, he is really going to be a terror, this young guy.
See what happens there when a guy runs the top of the racetrack. They keep their momentum up, and the guy coming off the bottom literally has to run up off the bottom uphill a little bit, and the guy on the outside can just shoot back by coming around on the outside of the racetrack.
Todd Shaffer in the white 88 has 3 feature wins this year in Pennsylvania, none of them here at the Grove, though.
Now watch coming off here. Shaffer on the outside's got to run. See him pick up speed coming off the corner, but Tim still was able to get up and hold him off.
And it's so worthwhile to pick up that position, to be second instead of third. Third, you tack up back of the A. Second, you get your time draw back, might be in the middle of the pack.
That's right, and Tim Shaffer, pretty good timer here at Williams Grove. He was the fastest qualifier last night.
Interval back to Jeff Swindell in the 104 car. Jeff is here in his head, just what I said. I got to get up there and get my time back. I don't want to tag the back. I've got a prayer.
That Ford getting a little bit better, too, lately.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of searching, like the Mopar we talked about. They've been changing things. Jack Cornett, new engine builder, and they're searching, and Jeff thinks they're getting closer every week.
That 104 plus octane boost car really coming on strong. Another good-looking flame car.
Oh, baby.
The local Ford dealership from where I live approached me last week about possibly getting the Ford Jeff Swindell car there for an appearance.
Oh, boy, here he comes.
Right there was perfect. Jeff came off the top, got a run on him, and drove to the inside. Now let's see what Shaffer can do on the outside. Boy, it's a long way across up there.
Some big blue oval horsepower there down the back straightaway, wasn't it? Swindell with 5 to go.
And this is about, I mean, they're way up. They've got a yellow flag, Ralph. Got a
yellow flag is out. There it is, the 77T. That's Jess Thompson. Or Jess Thomas, I should say. Freddie Grenoble, the mechanic on this car, used to work with Stevie Smith. Jess Thomas get turned around. We'll be right back.
Мы снова будем счастливы. Будем жить долго, долго, долго. Нам повезем жизнь новую,
When you combine Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Crispy Wafers, the combination is irresistible. Introducing Reese Sticks, the crisp you can't resist.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
all that you can be.
Coming up Monday, TNN Motorsports with more racing for you. It's SCCA Trans Am Racing on TNN. The Road Warriors head to the tough twisting track in Lime Rock Park, Connecticut. See the Dodge Dealers Grand Prix Monday afternoon at 1 Eastern right here on TNN Motorsports.
Love that Lime Rock Park. It's the only place they can't race on Sunday. It's a city ordinance. There's a couple of churches that are virtually on the circuit. So it's fun to go there. You work on Saturday, get Sunday off, and work again on Monday.
Hey, have we finally got that?
Yes.
No.
I love it.
Bobby Jackson has a restart cone on the front straightaway. Oh,
They
that
did
is
this,
fantastic.
Did this at Lernerville Tuesday night was the first time for it.
Years ago,
did they do this years ago?
Okay, here's the deal, folks.
I don't think did.
If you've never seen a World of Outlaw restart, it's single file. You've got to pass the orange cone. Once you pass the orange cone, you can pass the car in front of you if you can catch him. You can't pass anybody in front of you till you pass the orange cone. They used to always do it on the back straightaway, and we always thought, well, it should be on the front stretch in front of the fans. Well, apparently, they're giving it a try. Way to go, Ted, Bobby, Carlton. We love it. That's what they're going to do, we're told, for the rest of the year.
And part of it is a fuel savings as well, because they're not wasting turns 3 and 4.
And with these small tanks, and we saw at Terre Haute when they ran out of fuel, embarrassingly, with 4 laps to go. Every little bit else.
Don Michael leads them to the orange cone.
Whoa, the fans love it. Pounding their hands together.
Jeff Swindell a winner at Paducah, Kentucky earlier this year with a World of Outlaw feature, comes screaming up from third.
He won second badly.
Shawn Michael, I am really impressed with this young man, the driver of the 88F, the yellow car in the lead. To the bottom goes Tim Shaffer, the Apple Chevrolet number 12.
And it worked. Or did it?
Look at all the three different grooves those guys ran. One on the bottom, one in the middle, and one on the top.
That's a good racetrack.
Yes, it certainly is. Oh, and he got him. Coming out of turn 4. Got a nice bite through the middle of the racetrack.
Now, what can Jeff Swindell do? Can Jeff Swindell make something happen? Here he comes. He follows the same line almost going into turn 3 now, drops a little lower.
Now, this is the line Schaefer took coming off of turn 4 to get by for the lead. Jeff just can't quite get it done yet.
Todd Schaefer still runs in the final transfer. He's back and forth. This is by far the best battle of the track.
Jeff
There's
got
the
him.
slide job for them.
Oh, Shawn Michael not a bit intimidated. Went between him and the wall coming out of turn 2.
Now he's got him, Brad.
Mission accomplished for Jeff Swindell, or is it?
No, does he?
Michael's fighting back with 1 lap to go on the last lap here. Very important for Jeff Swindell to get his time back.
Side by side, down the straightaway. Michael in front for second. Swindell working the bottom. Tim Schaefer's going to take the win. He's going to the 8th. Shawn Michael gets second. Swindell gets third. And Todd Schaefer will come home in 4th. What a great run by Shawn Michael. Wow, I am really impressed by him.
For only his 3rd year, he raced micro sprints, and he's doing a tremendous job.
Dave Reed. I'm down with Joe Gertie, an interesting bystander of the B main, just kind of watching and seeing what's going on out on the racetrack. 4th qualified car tonight. You're starting 7th in the A main. How does the track look?
It's kind of pretty dry, but it's pretty similar to last night, actually. It's actually got some of the looser stuff cleaned off of it tonight. They kind of watered it there right before they got on TV, and it's helped it quite a bit. I think we're just trying to figure out right at the moment here what type of tires to pick and where to race on a racetrack. Right now, it's pretty good on top and bottom, so it's a long race. We'll just see what happens.
30 laps, and it's also a mind game as well, as you can see. A lot to think about down here, guys.
Brad, last night's track here even slicker and dustier than tonight.
Well, it was a little bit dustier, but, you know, and that lays on top of the racetrack and does make it slicker or harder to get a hold of. Tonight, as you just heard Joe say, a lot of that's been blown off and things, and I think the track's going to get some rubber down in the corners before the main event's over.
And the track crew will also have a little time to maybe do a little massaging on the surface now.
Yep. Last night, toward the end of the race, they started getting a little rubber down. They could feel it. It was only 20 laps, so they possibly will tonight.
The Channellock Spring Classic. You can only see it live on TNN. Don't miss it.
I have to go home.
What's wrong?
I need to check in on Bobby. Bobby?
Hey, Dad.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Did you mow the lawn?
No.
Yes!
Introducing the smooth-riding Kubota TG lawn tractor. Don't be surprised if you get attached to it.
Dad, I gotta go. Something's burning.
Whatever. Bye-bye.
At Pennzoil, discover that it's not the kind of engine you drive that matters most in motor oil. It's the way you drive. You stop, you go. You stop, you go. You stop, you go. Imagine how your engine feels. The next time you change your oil, ask for Pennzoil, specially formulated to protect your engine from stop-and-go driving.
You okay, boy?
Stop, go. Pennzoil.
They race American cars on street circuits or road courses. Rain or shine, it doesn't matter to the SCCA Trans Am Series drivers. They're always ready to race. See the Dodge Dealers Grand Prix Monday at 1 Eastern on TNN Motorsports.
Turn on the country music. Turn on to CMT.
Turn on to country music.
Some things are just too darn big to fit in a tiny package. That's why CMT has the big ticket. 12 big hours of big stars every week. We got Big Alan, Big Dina, Big John Michael, Big Leanne. They're all big, and I don't mean big and fat. They're big and famous and barely fit in 12 big shows. Because some things weren't meant to fit in a tiny package. Turn on to CMT's Big Ticket. Weekdays at 1 and 9 Eastern.
Turn on to romance. Turn on to genuine CMT.
Welcome back to the Grove, Williams Grove Speedway in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where they talk so much about the racetracks in Pennsylvania, and if you get a chance to see one, put the Grove high up on your list. This is a spectacular place to see a race. You know, and keeping an open wheel theme as we get into our Miller Lite news and notes, of course, coming up this weekend, the Indianapolis 500. Here's a look at the top 5 rows. How about the big sprint car guys in there? Billy Boat, Tony Stewart, J.J. Yaley. And how about this one back on the inside of row 8? I am so fired up about this, Brad. Jack Hewitt.
Oh, it's been, I mean, he has to be pinching himself every morning when he wakes up to see, it just has to be unreal to him. This is something he's wanted to do his whole career.
Frustrating that we don't have Steve Kinser or Jack Hodenshield there, but Hewitt, he'll do a great job for all the sprint car fans.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, he will. And he's so great with the fans and has such a good fan following. It'll be a tremendous day for him on Sunday.
As will J.J. Yaley, Billy Bode, and of course Tony Stewart. To Steve Evans.
Yeah. You know, my wife is always on me to use her Stairmaster more often. Well, Baby Cakes, I got my own. It's called the Grandstands here at Williams Grove. I'm like a yo-yo going up and down. Got some great banners tonight. A little bit of a stretch here. TNN stands for 2 New Jersey Knuckleheads. This is one of them. The other one's up in the cheap seats. How about this? Swindell for president. Those would be very short speeches. Make Al Gore look like Jay Leno. Oh, we got a PA posse, huh? There's some nice artwork. Anybody else got a banner they want to get on TV? Put it up. Heather, welcome, TNN. All right.
Gary, Bobby!
Okay. Bobby Gerald, save me.
I'm here with the B-Main winner, and his name is Tim Shaffer. Steve Evans just up there in the stands having a little fun up there, Tim, but you did a very nice job in that B-Main. The low groove was working well for you.
Yeah, we was been struggling last night. We were good early, which then we didn't change much for the feature, and it kind of burned us. So we made a lot of changes for tonight, knowing the track is going to be slicker. So, I mean, it's helping us now, but we need to get a little bit better, I think, to be able to run up front.
You'll have a decent starting spot upcoming in this feature event, but how amped up do you guys get as the Pennsylvania posse when you know that these outlaws are coming in to steal your money?
Well, it's always nice to try to take some of the money away, but, you know, you get fired up a little bit more because I think we're very competitive, and I think we can race with them. So.
All right, well, good luck to you in tonight's feature event, Tim.
All right, thank you, bud.
Tim Shaffer, the driver at number 12.
So Ralph Shaheen's sentiments, I echo them of Jack Hewitt. I'm going to be rooting for those guys really, really hard on Sunday come the Indianapolis 500. Well, we'll be rooting for your favorite when the A feature rolls out, hopefully when we come back here live on TNN Motorsports.
It's a prime time celebration.
Party! Party!
15 years of fun.
Wear something goofy.
Gary Chapman welcomes special guests Garth, Dolly, Lorianne, Charlie, Ralph, Brian White.
Give me more, more, more!
Plus 15 years of magic with superstars to salad bars. And a whole lot more.
Did I mention free snacks?
Primetime Country celebrates 15 years of TNN. Monday night at 9 Eastern.
As you may have read on the internet, in a national tasting of regular and iced beers, brewmasters and beer experts named Old Milwaukee the best tasting beer in America. And this just in, Old Milwaukee Light has won the gold medal for best tasting light beer, beating every other major light beer for taste. Judge for yourself. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, America's best tasting beers.
Nestle Flips, they're completely irresistible.
I'm just gonna have one more.
Rolled Gold pretzels and Nestle milk chocolate.
Last one. Promise. No, really.
Nestle Flips. What's your excuse?
The year was 1923. The automobile was changing America, and Purolator invents the oil filter, coining the phrase, pure oil now, pure oil later. Purolator. And the rest is history. After all, we invented the business.
Wendy's introduces the most delicious combination ever put in a chicken sandwich. Our new honey ham and chicken.
Chicken just doesn't get any better than this.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
Motor Madness. Brought to you by Wendy's new honey ham and chicken. Just doesn't get any better than this.
We're back live on TNN Motorsports, the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, the greatest show on dirt. This program has run so smoothly tonight. Theirs, not necessarily ours. They're taking a little extra time to groom the racetrack for this tremendous A main. And the crowd here, they're such loyal sprint car fans. They're loyal. They know what's going on. Taking this time is going to make for an even better race. You know, there's been a couple of years I wondered if Mark Kinser wasn't frustrated watching his own father out winning championship after championship with not him in the car, but his cousin Steve. I also wondered if Mark wasn't frustrated last year or maybe felt he made a bad decision foregoing an Outlaw title to race in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So we decided, hey, there's a lot of questions we could ask Mark Kinser. Why don't we sit him down, get a camera, good cameraman, good interviewer, and here's the piece as we did it.
Before I ever got into racing, I knew what I was up against. They had the #1 team in the world, and I didn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. When I started, Bud Barrett, Larry Kinser, Steve Brazine, local guys, helped me get into racing. And when I went on the road, of course, I had to hire a mechanic that wanted to go, which was Scott Gherkin, and we tried to stay out of their way as much as possible. To be honest, as good as they was, there was a point where I didn't think I'd ever run for my father, you know, and got to where I was having some success on my own and with my own teams, and I just didn't ever dream there'd be a chance that we would be together, and I had no problem with that. Oh, Dad and Steve was together for so long, you get to thinking, man, those guys are so good, or they get so many lucky breaks, and on, and I guess it just got to the point where I really didn't know how good he really is. And I got to driving for him, and he's quite amazing. He gets 100% out of his driver, his crew. He goes to win every race, and you better be there to do the same. I do feel that I've earned some respect, but I do know running my own program and jumping into his program and immediately having double the success, that the man, it's just simply amazing how you could double your wins and fast time 42 times a year. He's down there on a Sunday for 16 hours. I really got to a point where I didn't really know how good he was, and now I know. I do love the sprint cars a tremendous amount. I wanted to try the truck series, and I guess running so well with my father that, to be quite honest with you, I thought I could jump into anything and win. There was not one doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to go down there and whip those guys, and it didn't happen. It's probably, without question, the most humbling experience of my life, and to realize that I'm not God, and maybe he is.
Well, certainly Carl Kinser celebrated all of the wins with Steve Kinser, over 400 of them. But when Mark wins, and I noticed this last year, there's a special light in his eye that was never there before. He's loving this racing with his kid, and right now he's with Dave Reith.
And Steve, we're up on the front stretch. Carl getting a chance to check out the racetrack here. You got to be pretty proud of your son.
Yeah, we came from 5th last night and won the race, so running real good, and I'm quite proud of him.
I asked Mark the same question. You guys haven't been as dominant this year as you've been in the past. Do you think the competition's just catching up a little?
Oh, yeah. A lot of the teams stepped up, and the competition is a lot tighter than it was last year. And so it's going to be a real competitive season for everyone.
Well, Ralph, you may think it's kind of strange that I'm driving Carl Kinser up the front stretch here in the work and push truck, but there's a very good reason for it. the encore presentation. You've seen it once, but you haven't seen it again. Show them this, Carl. Here we go. Check this out.
I love it already.
There you go.
Hey, you know, funny thing about that is Carl caught Mark off guard as much as he did the rest of us at Terre Haute last week. In fact, Stu Murray, the president of Workin', who is here again tonight, was telling Brad, you and I earlier today, that he had talked to Mark, and Mark said he hadn't seen his dad do that in about 12 years, and he'd have bet anybody that Carl probably couldn't do that anymore. But apparently that was an old family trick around the house. Yeah. Carl used to do that all the time when Mark was just a young kid. Speaking of kids, those of us at TNN got to tip the visor to Lynn and Todd Bodine, who became proud parents of a beautiful baby girl just yesterday about 11 a.m. I know that's a big thrill for the Tabasco driver. Way to go, Todd. He was grinning from ear to ear in the garage area at Charlotte as he was running out to catch up with his wife and his new baby daughter. Congratulations, you two. All right, let's check in with Bobby Gerald.
Ralph, you guys talked a lot about the horsepower that it takes to pull a sprint car around the big half mile here at Williams Grove, and we're standing alongside Ron Shaver, who happens to build the motors for not only the Amoco number 93 that you see behind us, driven by Dale Blaney, wrenched by Kenny Woodruff, but also Tyler Walker's car. Ron, how about it? How much of a strain does this track put on the engines?
Well, Bobby, the Williams Grove racetrack is one of the toughest racetracks on a sprint car engine in the country. It has very long straightaways, tight corners, so you have to gear the car real low to go around the tight corners, and then it has to scream its brains out down the straightaway. You're turning in excess of 8,300 at the end of the straightaway, so there's a lot of wear and tear. And in a big race like this, sometimes the motor's done after the race. It just depends.
Last week we talked with Earl Gertie a little bit, and we mentioned some of the price tags for these engines these days. Right around $30,000. Is that what it takes?
Yeah, between 30. An Outlaw motor can be as high as 35 if it's got real lightweight components.
And how many races can you get out of a motor like that?
Somewhere between 5 and 15, depending on the track that you race at.
Now, is there a lot of money to be made in the engine business? Because I'm sure there are people out there in America right now saying, over $30,000 for a race engine. So, I mean, are you Mr. Moneybags now, Ron?
No, not quite. It's more a passion than a money maker. It's, you know, it's a living. And, you know, we do about 250, 300 engines a year, and it keeps us moving all the time.
Oh, I bet. And we do see this guy at every racetrack all across the country, really big in California, and with two here tonight in Pennsylvania, Steve.
You know, the guys that push start these sprinters all night long are volunteers. They bring their own trucks. They burn their own gas. All they get is maybe a hot dog and free admission, but they love doing what they do. But tonight is a little different situation with the extra time we have available to us because of the smooth running of this show. They came out and they put a little bit of water, not a lot, just a little bit. And you can see they're directing the trucks where they want them to go. Kind of pan over there if you can, fan cam, and pick up the guy in the Pennzoil jacket. What they're trying to do is push that water down into the dirt. It doesn't do any good laying on top. It just becomes kind of soupy-like. In fact, it'd be worse than no water at all. But if you can get it down in the dirt and then these pneumatic tires on the sprint cars pull it back up again, you got yourself a real good racetrack. Was I even close, Brad Doty?
Steve, that's real close, Steve Evans. That's exactly what they're doing, just putting some of that dust, turning it back into mud and pushing it down in the racetrack. And that's on the straightaways. And they're washing a little bit of the dust off of the black part up there. And it's going to do nothing but help this racetrack.
Okay, the guys that finished at the front of the B main have been given enough time to put some tires on it, some fuels in it. They're just about ready to pull up to the gate. And we will have the A feature for all the money and all the points coming up.
Hole 3 of the Cooper Tire Invitational, a long par 10,000 from Seattle over the Continental Divide to Minneapolis. Our leader lying 7,012. Bill, how did he get there?
Well, Jim, Arnold's gotten through some rough terrain, thanks in part to his Cooper tires. Then that nice run, keeping it left along the Canadian border. Arnold, what's in store for the rest of the hole?
Got to clear those giant heads. The Cooper tires will do the job. The world is your course. Drive on.
I was into all that extreme stuff when I was your age. Just didn't have a fancy name for it. Because I never had a Subaru Outback Sport either.
Too bad, Uncle. This beauty's got a ton of cargo space. Full-time all-wheel drive, more horsepower than a RAV4. You never did that, I'll bet.
Sure we did. But what's the rope for?
Outback Sport, part of the Outback family from Subaru.
This time of year, I need more than an ordinary eye drop.
I need Ocuhist.
Ocuhist eye allergy relief from Visine. It's anti-itching. It's anti-redness. It's antihistamine relief for your eyes. Ocuhist's special antihistamine formula stops the itching and relieves eye allergies fast.
My eyes feel great.
Get Ocuhist eye allergy relief from Visine. It gets the itch out.
In racing, there are no second chances. You blink, you lose. You win. It's a rush. Split Fire, the choice of NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion Jim Yates, because performance is everything.
Split bar spark plugs. What a rush!
Find a checkered flag pouch in Velveeta shells and cheese and you can win $100 cash. A trip or two to Florida or other hotspots? Or a brand new car. Oh, yeah! So make tracks for Velveeta shells and cheese when you crave the creamiest and great prizes.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable. For quality television programs, the address is CBS. Live from the electrifying arena in Music City, USA.
This is it.
It's the Fan Show, the TNN Music City News Country Awards, hosted by Jeff Foxworthy.
The stars are here.
The TNN Music City News Country Awards, live June 15th, 8 Eastern, only on America's Country Home, TNN.
Next weekend, we've got more NASCAR Busch Grand National racing for you here on TNN. The Busch Boys head to the Monster Mile, Dover Downs International Speedway, for 200 thrilling laps. CMB&A Platinum 200, Saturday, May 30th at 1 p.m. Eastern, right here, where else, on TNN Motorsports. Track prep still going on here at Williams Grove as they get everything ready for the A feature, which will be a 30-lapper here tonight. Channellock Spring Classic. To Bobby Jarrett.
Ralph, starting 12th in tonight's A-Main is the 1997 World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year, Mr. Donnie Schatz. And Donnie, the 12th starting position, how's that suit you?
Well, compared to last night's, it's pretty good. We missed the show last night, and we feel a lot better tonight. This Gambler car is working pretty good. The motors are running great, so we're just happy to be starting 12th, and maybe we can get closer to the front.
You started off this season really like gangbusters. You had the second place finish at Devil's Bowl, then struggled a little bit, but it seems like you guys are starting to hit your form again.
Yeah, we come out of the box really fast, and it seems like the last couple of years that always happens, and we fall off. But we had the crew chief change, and that really slowed us down a whole bunch. But we're starting to get our momentum back under our feet, and we're going to be fast here in a little while.
All right, we wish you good luck in tonight's feature.
And look at that. If you don't think these guys aren't serious about their weight, look at that steering wheel full of holes. That's just to knock a few ounces off the race car.
You done that to your kid's BMX bike yet?
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about that. One of those lightweight pieces broke last weekend.
Did it really?
Yeah, you jinxed us the weekend before. Well, actually, he went down first, and then it broke. So I felt a little better about that.
Sure, Dad.
Yeah.
Trying to get into that lightweight stuff. I know you've been out in the shop drilling holes all over that thing. I know you have. I know you have. Steve Evans?
Well, one crew chief told me he'd like to drill holes in his driver's head, but that's another story. A lot of racetracks have some kind of a signature feature. Maybe it's a big timing tower, or a food court, or something the fans remember and they really enjoy. Well, for the families that like to camp out in the infield here and play Frisbee and eat chicken and watch the races, it's a certain bridge over the back stretch that they're very fortunate they have, but it also can affect the racing itself. Bobby Gerald, well, he's a big bridge fan, and he filed this report a little earlier on. Bobby Gerald on the bridge of Williams Grove County.
Williams Grove Speedway opened in 1939, and in its 59-year history, some truly great drivers from Lynn Paxton to Jan Opperman to Tommy Hintershitz have all turned laps on this historic and very unique half-mile racetrack. Now, we use the word unique for a very good reason, and that is because it's not often that you'll find a crossing bridge going across the back straightaway of a dirt racetrack. The bridge. Now, the bridge was built in 1948. It is very old, but it is also very sturdy. We're told that 2 or 3 guys over the course of the years have tried to actually take out the bridge, and of course, they haven't succeeded. Fred Rahmer is a local here at Williams Grove. He's won 3 feature events, and who better to talk to us about this legendary racetrack? Fred, have you ever seen some guys try to get up there and hit this thing?
I know they've tried to hit it. I've seen fuel tanks land up there, and
till now, I never realized how close we are to the bridge. I sort of wish I'd have stayed in the pits.
We also hear from some of the drivers that the wind bounces off the bridge and actually affects the handling of the race car on the back chute.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you come down here and the cars just dance around. It don't matter if you're in traffic by yourself. You move around a ton and you'd never move your hands and you just don't know why.
The bridge, one of the most unique aspects of this very, very historical racetrack.
We have got good news. Well, you can see that we have good news. The pace truck is out on the racetrack, followed by some of the cars in the A features. Stay with us. This could be a real barn burner.
Dang, do you hear that? Indeed, my sister. Look.
UFO spotted in Springfield.
Homer!
Hey, boy.
Whoa, alien dudes.
You ingest this earthly confection for pleasure. We shall study this Butterfinger. As well as you.
Let me take you to my leader.
There's nothing like a crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery Butterfinger from Nestle.
Not again.
Night, Homer. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
If these windows could talk, they wouldn't tell you how Fleetwood craftsmen build each home by hand, but about favorite family dinners. They wouldn't go on about our solid steel frames, but about pillow fights in pajamas. And they might not say we've been building homes for nearly 50 years, but they'd tell you plenty about first anniversaries. Because at Fleetwood, we know the quality that counts most in a home is the quality of life inside. Fleetwood Homes, quality for life. See your Fleetwood Homes retailer.
Welcome back to Williams Grove Speedway. How you doing, everybody? Ralph Sheen along with Brad Doty. And no, we're not in a tanning booth. Doty left his at home, didn't fit into the van. But the lighting in our booth, not exactly perfect, although we got some pretty nasty cobwebs up here, though. But a great view for the sprint car races here at Williams Grove. This big half mile providing us with some great racing, as you can see, where we're located high above the racetrack, up above the score stand here on the front straightaway, right behind the start-finish line. Cars to the A feature now out rolling around, getting ready for tonight's main event, the Channellock Spring Classic, Bobby.
And Ralph, I'm standing alongside Jerry Russell, who represents Eagle Chassis, the man behind Eagle Chassis, a new player on the World of Outlaws circuit for 1998, but Jerry's a familiar name in the sport. Jerry, how many cars do you have going here tonight?
We got about 10 here tonight right now, and we had top 5 quick time 1 through 5 tonight. And it's very unusual.
Tell me a little bit about, we just talked about engines with Ron Shaver. As far as the chassis go, is there a big difference from your brand through the other brands?
Well, we just try and make the car, you know, the best quality as we can, nicest, lightest piece out there, so the parts will interchange from one car to another car. When you buy one of our cars, so you don't have to worry about changing the parts over.
All right, thank you very much. Jerry Russell from Eagle Chassis. He's down here, an interested observer, because he's got a lot of guys in this feature.
That he does. That Eagle Chassis, one of the hot pieces on the tour this year. Fans ready to go racing. We are too. Hope you are. Channellock Spring Classic coming up.
Is there a whitening toothpaste that doesn't use bleach or harsh abrasives?
Absolutely. Aquafresh Whitening's Tri-Clean formula gently breaks up stains to get teeth whiter. Not even Rembrandt whitens better. And Aquafresh is safe to use every day.
Don't I also need fluoride?
Aquafresh Whitening gives you all the fluoride of Crest cavity protection, but whitens better.
Now that's a great idea.
Aquafresh Whitening, safe to use every day for dazzling whiter teeth.
You gotta get dirty, you know? If you go through life just sticking to the roads, and if you're designed to be off-road, then use it. Getting dirty's tons of the fun. I think it's a mental cleansing, if you will. Cleaning your insides while dirtying your outsides. And that's what Chevron with Techron's all about. It helps keep my engine clean and emissions low.
No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
Man, what a rush.
Be a part of the big show June 15th. The TNN Music City News Country Awards moves to the spectacular Nashville Arena. Get your tickets today. Call Ticketmaster at 615-255-9600 or order online at country.com.
Springtime in Nashville, Tennessee. Get away to the great indoors. Opryland Hotel is a springtime paradise under glass. And now through May 28th, our springtime getaway packages start at just $189 per person.
Or take advantage of this special offer. On select dates, room-only rates are just $59.50 per person, including the celebrity breakfast.
Call 1-800-316-1316. Get away to the great indoors at Opryland Hotel.
Man, the first time I looked at a picture of me, I was like, wow, Wayne, what happened? I was fat. I lost over 50 pounds on a Slim Fast plan. I finally found something that worked for me. It's easy. It tastes great. Once I lost the weight, my energy skyrocketed right through the roof. It makes you feel good after working out.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I look at life totally different now.
Slim Fast, every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
Anybody can do it if I can do it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Williams Grove, Pennsylvania, and this is the reason we came tonight. The feature, the A-Main, the best wing sprint car drivers in all the world. Ralph Shaheen, it's been almost a perfect night, almost too good to be true.
It's been fantastic racing as we get set for the main event here tonight. Channellock Spring Classic A-Main lineup coming your way now as we get set for the 30-lap feature. Row number 1, Johnny Herrera alongside of Mark Kinser. They've been battling each other for 2 nights in a row. One more 30-lapper to be settled between the two of them and the rest. Jack Hodenshield and Sammy Swindell, the 97 champ, make up row number 2. Donnie Kreitz, he's the fastest of all the Pennsylvania guys here tonight. Can he get one for the posse? And the young Californian, Tyler Walker, quick timer here tonight. He's on the outside of row number 3. Joe Gertie alongside of the dude, Daniel Lasowski, back in row 4. Row 5, Lance DeWeese in the brick car with Tim Schaefer. Freddie Rahmer, Fast Freddie in row number 6, the winner in Lernerville earlier this week. Donnie Schatz in the 15. Stevie Smith, the points leader, coming into tonight in row 7 with Craig Hodnett, Dale Blaney, and the king of the Outlaws, Steve Kinser in row 8 as they go 4 wide. Chris Ash and Andy Hillenburg in row 9. Lance Blevins and Kevin Gobrecht from Pennsylvania in row 10. Jeff Shepard and the vastly quick and really stunning Shawn Michael in row 11. Jeff Swindell with the Ford and Todd Schaefer in row 12. Dion Hindy, Mike Wagner, Todd Gracie wrap up the field. The onboard cameras will be bringing us a great up-close and personal views. Johnny Herrera starting from the number 1 slot. He's got 2 looks for you tonight, one off the front and one off the back. There's the Casey's General Stores Housby number 47 and the Channellock number 1. The 1997 Pennzoil World of Outlaw champion, Sammy Swindell. He'll have 2 looks for you as well.
If Mark Kinser has a good race here, guys, it'll take a heroic effort by Stevie Smith to hang on to this points lead. It may be the last time we say that for a while. Stevie Smith in the points lead.
Dave Reed.
Guys, one guy to keep your eye on tonight will be Lance Blevins. Shortly before he pushed off, he handed me some very exciting information. He's in a bonus situation tonight. George Kingsbury, the owner and CEO of Up Close Phone Cards, put a little incentive money in his pocket tonight. He's already got a $500 bonus for making the show. If he finishes in the top 10 tonight, he'll pick up an extra $1,000. Top 5, $2,500. If he should win this thing, he'll pick up $5 grand. So he's got his elbows up. He's excited about this one.
Well, he starts at 19th. Got a ways to go. The youngster, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Broken Arrow. Lance Blevins. Here we go. We're coming green to the Channellock Spring Classic.
Ralph, this field cannot let the 5M and the 47 car break away as they did last night.
I think Johnny Herrera surprised Mark Kinser on that start, getting a jump like that.
I think you're right, Brad. It's Herrera out front. Then Mark Kinser. Sammy Swindell runs in 3rd. Jack Hodenshield battling wheel to wheel with Donnie Kreitz for 4th. On board. This is what it looks like out front when you pick up the right front tire. Under the bridge you go. Down to the bottom, Brad.
Yep, that's the bottom out of turn 4. He does have a nice, comfortable lead. Got a nice jump. But you know, Mark Kinser, we've seen it before. They really, the last half of the race is when Carl's cars really to come on.
Scheduled for 30. Working our way back. Here's your leader, Johnny Herrera. Mark Kinser runs in second. There's Sammy Swindell and Donnie Kreitz and Jack Hodenshield.
Notice most of the cars were running the bottom until Hodenshield and Stevie Smith came around, and Steve Kinser back there on the top.
There's Stevie Smith trying to get around the outside of Danny Lasowski in the 83 and Joe Gertie in the 8H.
Brad, who's better in traffic that they'll be in soon? Johnny or Mark?
Boy, that's a tough one, Steve. I mean, a lot of it depends on your race car. If you can change your lines and move around on the racetrack, you're better through lap traffic. The guy that his car is only committed to one lane and only fast in that lane, he's kind of messed up if he gets caught behind somebody.
Great answer.
Stevie Smith fighting off the dust. Joe Gertie giving chase. Lance DeWeese with problems in the 461. That could bring out a yellow.
Yep, yellow's out.
It is out. That'll line him back up. DeWeese in the 461, the brick car, coming to a stop. Well, we'll get Lance pushed off, see if they can get him fixed and refired. We'll be back to Williams Grove for the Channellock Spring Classic.
1 minute Maalox.
In hospitals, speed counts. Fast-acting medicines, doctors rely on them. So when patients get heartburn, they get 1 minute Maalox, not Pepsid AC. Maalox goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepsid AC could take over 45 minutes to affect acid. 1 minute Maalox. Hospitals count on it. Shouldn't you?
The #1 choice for hospitals. It's not Pepsid AC. It's 1 minute Maalox.
Turtle wax. Some people say clear coat cars don't need wax. Clear coat's thinner than the piece of paper. So what protects the clear coat? New Turtle Wax Emerald Series car wax.
Waxing with Emerald Series puts on 4 times the Carnauba wax as the #1 brand, with no powdery residue.
Do your best wax job ever. Turtle Wax Emerald Series.
Emerald Series is the best hard shell finish. Turtle Wax.
And come down hard on grease with new Turtle Wax Purple Muscle Heavy Duty Cleaner.
What's the human up to?
Waiting on the pest control guy again.
Don't worry, he never shows. Oh, no! They call Terminix.
For service when you want it, the way you want it. Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassles.
Why do the classics endure? Because they were done right. Like Hidden Valley. It's the original, not new or improved. Because Hidden Valley is the way ranch is supposed to taste.
It's the most dangerous 8 seconds on television. Hang on for the Ty Murray Invitational, part of the PBR Bud Light Cup Tour, Sunday, 9 Eastern on TNN.
Welcome back to Williams Grove. Here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, will be going green next time by the cone on the front straightaway. Kevin Gobrecht's 92 and the 461 of Lance DeWeese went behind the wall. Gobrecht now bringing the 92 back out onto the racetrack. Stevie Smith, the guy to keep your eyes on, gentlemen. He has moved from 13th to 6th. Point leader on the move. There's the Ingersoll Rand number 19.
And again, he runs the coil-over cars, their own design, and generally the coil-over cars work better on a slick racetrack, but they've proven it works good on wet racetracks too.
Here we go.
Looking for the restart. On board with your leader, Johnny Herrera. Good restart for the work at 5M of Mark Kinser. He got him and then is about to give it back. Herrera, boy, did Gilsonner give him a strong car here tonight.
Again, we saw him off the top, had that momentum coming off, had the speed, carried it on through turn 2 and drove back by Mark Kinser on the back straightaway.
On board with Johnny Herrera, Gilsonner owns and tunes this car. First came to the Grove in 83 with Rocky Hodges in the seat.
Brave old Rocky Hodges. Sammy Swindell, suddenly a factor, a player in third, the blue Channellock #1 car.
Sammy, first one here in the Grove as you go on board with him back in 1980. The Channellock car looking strong. He goes to the bottom brass. You see a better run
running the top, and Mark Kinser's running the bottom.
Jack Haudenschild coming strong for third. And look at this, Stevie Smith coming around the outside of Donnie Kreitz. Talked about him moving up. Donnie Kreitz, the fastest of the regular Pennsylvania posse. This is a fight for fifth. Haudenschild.
There he goes.
Gets around Sammy. Just in front of this fight is Stevie. Gets away and smoke off of Stevie Smith.
Just a little puff there. It could be something minor, just a small oil leak.
So it's Herrera, Mark Kinser, Jack Haudenschild, Sammy Swindell, Stevie Smith, your top five.
Haudenschild has moved around Sammy down the back straightaway for third. He broke the Pennzoil car.
Boy, he broke the track record here 3 times last year to Jack Haudenschild.
It's amazing. You look out here, all the dirt flying through the lights, and everybody is fighting somebody for some
Big
position.
smoke out of Stevie Smith.
Yep.
That is a huge problem in that Ingersoll Rand car, Brad.
They sure don't. We talked about the point situation and what happened to him last night. Another mechanical failure, DNF, boy, that'll just knock him back into points.
Oh, man. Now he's to the bottom. He's still strong, Brad, but what's the matter with the car? Let's see what happens. Here's where it really puffed up last time.
When he gets off it.
Yeah, when he gets, but Darrell wasn't as bad as the lap before. You know, these cars hold about 14 quarts, 15 quarts of oil. So a minor oil leak, as long as it doesn't affect his vision too bad or doesn't get under the tires, they can run a long time with a small oil leak.
A little blow-by.
Yeah, what's a little blow-by? Now, unlike an asphalt track, oil getting on these dirt tracks will not affect it nearly as much as an asphalt track.
Johnny Herrera in the traffic. First came to the Grove back in 1987. He's got Jeff Shaffer in front of him. So we go on board with Johnny Herrera. Hollywood, as Steve Evans nicknamed him a couple of years ago when he won on TNN. Maybe going to do it here again tonight. The Albuquerque, New Mexico driver.
He ran strong last night. He led Mark Kinser in this same fashion last night. As Brad said, we've all said at one time or another.
Here comes Mark Kinser. The working 5M, working the outside as Herrera got awfully close to Jeff Shepard.
Now see, Herrera had to move to the bottom. That's his first time he has ran the bottom in 1 and 2 all night long. But boy, he looks good. Actually, maybe he looked better than he did running the top.
Todd Gracie, that red 25 is a lap car in between them. He might get in the middle and hold up the working 5M of Mark Kinser. Here he comes around the outside. Got it.
Now let's see what Johnny does going into turn 1. No, he's back running right through the middle of the racetrack.
Sammy Swindell fending off the advances of Stevie Smith. That's for fourth. Johnny Kreitz right behind him in the light blue, number 69. Donnie Kreitz having a great run. Jack Haudenschild, he's up to third.
And look at Sam slicing and dicing.
Stevie's going to get by.
Stevie got him. Smoking motor and all. Boy, that Ingersoll Rand car looking awfully strong.
Oh,
right up on the wall.
Sammy, now watch this. He'll turn the car and get back under it. He drives back by him down the back straightaway.
Unbelievable racing action here tonight at the Williams Grove Racetrack. The Channellock Spring Classic. What a show.
Boy, just slide jobbing each other back and forth. Now see what Sammy did there. He moved down to try to block him, but Stevie's going to dive to the bottom and slide back up in front of Sammy.
Slide jobs. What a black art, Brad.
Look at this, back and forth.
And Donnie Kreitz is running the bottom, battling with these guys. This is a 3-car fight for fourth.
This is out of turn 4. A couple lap cars right in front of him.
You'll see Kreitz just on the bottom. See him? See the blue car just in back as they go around the lapper of Jeff Shepard. So a 4-car fight for third,
look
for
at
fourth. I mean, there's Kreitz. He's going to take fifth.
Talked about it earlier. Kreitz he runs McCurry tires. They like a slick racetrack. He's got a lot of laps here. It suits his setup for the racetrack the way it is.
Slicing through traffic. Sammy Swindell holds on to fourth. Stevie Smith runs in fifth. Donnie Kreitz runs in sixth, and they're all battling it out here at Williams Grove.
Back up front, Mark Kinser was held up by traffic, but is now right behind Johnny Herrera with only 10 laps to go.
Mark Kinser has 7 World of Outlaw wins this year. 3 of those preliminary nights, 4 of them on the feature nights. Look at that shot.
What he did, he come off. Johnny Herrera came off the bottom of the racetrack, slid up in front of that lap car, and you can see the lapper have to lift just a little bit. His Haudenschild on the outside, right there, coming off the corner, trying to get around Mark Kinser.
That yellow blur, the Pennzoil 22 of Jack Haudenschild.
Right
here
there,
he comes to the outside of the working machine of Mark Kinser.
Hod had to go in the middle of the racetrack and lost some ground right there. Now he's stuck behind that lap car. He'll have to get by him quick, as he does right there.
To the bottom he goes. Looking for a way around. Guy Forbrick setting this car up to come on strong in the back half of the race.
And he set it up much like the car was back in 1996. He got rid of a lot of trick, super lightweight pieces that were failing, and it's paying off.
Screaming down the back straightaway.
Mark got away from him a little bit out of turn 2 as Hod closes back in. The best thing for Johnny Herrera would be for Hodenshield to get up there and show Mark Kinser to rattle Mark just a little bit and get the race in Hodenshield instead of the racetrack. That'll give Johnny Herrera a chance to get out and go.
That's what's happening.
Shawn Michael goes upstairs. Mark gets to the bottom of it. Where's Hod? There he is. Right up on that outer groove. Sticking that big right rear up in the cushion off of turns 3 and 4 here at the Grove. Right up along the fence line.
Well, Jack's lost a little ground here in the last lap or so. Seemed like every time he'd gain and get close, something he'd get...
And Johnny Herrera, the 47 car, looking for his first Outlaw featured victory of 1998.
This is out of turn 4. Out of turn 4 right there. There's a lap car between Johnny Herrera and Mark Kinser. Boy, this race is winding down. Johnny just has to... Now look at this. He's lapping Fred Rahmer.
Boy, he is flying. Oh, and Rahmer holds him up a little bit. You see the nose dropping.
You saw John. Boy, that hurt him bad. He just had to lift there for a little bit. Now he's going to squeeze underneath of Fred Rahmer out of turn 4.
And he has no idea how far behind him Mark Kinser is.
Some of these teams do run radios, and they stay in contact with the crew. Under race conditions, it's hard for the drivers to hear what they're saying. They have to wait for a yellow.
Stevie Smith is going backwards. Steve Kinser got him past him. That motor has finally let go.
And there goes the points lead for Stevie Smith.
Oh,
yep,
boy.
the Ingersoll Rand number 19 done for the night. That motor letting go. Will that bring out a yellow?
I think he's going to... Well, he's not going to make it. I thought he could make it to the entrance in turn 3.
No yellow flag yet, but he is stopped. Now the yellow lights come out on Workin' Woody. And a yellow finally comes out. What a tough break for Johnny Herrera.
You know, this is what happened to Johnny last night. Yep. He was leading the race. They had a few yellows, and Mark closed up, and then they had a red. And sure enough, you know, Carl did a little tuning on the car and came back and won the race.
Wow. Boy, this Channellock Spring Classic has been one fantastic race here at Williams Grove. Stay with us. You don't want to miss the closing lap.
Thanks for the truck, Dad.
What'd you do?
Not much.
Where'd you go?
Kurtz?
You still talking about moving that old barn?
No.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Had a scratch?
No.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
For beautiful, healthy trees, you need a fertilizer made for trees. One that feeds underground at the root where trees eat. Job's fertilizer spikes. It's what trees want.
My husband and I made a bet. I said 10321 was cheaper. He thought AT&T was. Well, the phone bill is here, and he lost. Turns out 10321 saved 50% off every call over 20 minutes. And those savings really add up. We saved $18 on a $50 phone bill. So it's settled. Now we both dial 10321, then 1 in the number. Right, honey?
This is the last time I bet against you.
I love a man in an apron.
Dial 10321. In racing, there are no second chances. You blink, you lose. You win. It's a rush. Split Farm, the choice of NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion Jim Yates, because performance is everything.
Woo! Split bar spark plugs. What a rush!
Clean is my business. So when I'm on the road, Super 8's my motel. Clean carpets, clean seats, clean. Clean inside and out. Life's great at Super 8.
It's the most dangerous 8 seconds on television. Hang on for the
Ty Murray Invitational, part of the PBR Bud Light Cup Tour, Sunday, 9 Eastern on TNN.
Welcome back to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, the Channellock Spring Classic. Let's check in, Bobby Gerald.
Here is Mike Thurman, a nervous crew member for Johnny Herrera right now. What's Johnny saying on the radios, and can he do it?
Well, I'm sure we can do it. We're going to hang in there. We're just going to try. And, you know, I just told him we had a couple lap cars in there and 3 laps to go.
It's up to Johnny Herrera now. Dave Reeve? No radios over here in Camp Carl. In fact, we got one nervous crew chief who you can't get your hands on the car. So if he's going to win tonight, it's going to have to come from your side.
Yeah, it's going to have to come from the cockpit. But with 3 laps to go with 2 lap cars in there, it's going to be tough.
Did you set the car up for late?
Well, yeah, we tried to get it right for the last 10 laps, but I believe we missed her a little tonight.
I think he was planning on a 35-lap feature, guys.
It's Fast Freddie Rahmer in the 77, and then the 88 car of Shaffer, who is in between, Todd Shaffer, who is in between Mark and Johnny Herrera. Also, Andy Hillenburg has moved from 6th, so he's coming on awfully strong. There's the 2 lappers, Rahmer in the red car and Shaffer in the white one.
And how Mark handles those 2 cars is going to determine whether he's first or somewhere behind first.
Yeah, but Mark's got Jack Hodenshield and Sammy Swindell right behind him. So freight train coming after Herrera. Here we go. 3 to go. Mark goes to the bottom. Hahn comes around the outside of Rahmer trying to catch it.
Unbelievable. Carl is going to fall to the roof of that trailer jumping up and down.
Mark is up to 2nd with nothing in between him and Herrera. Now can he reel him in?
Boy, he got
2 to go.
Mark got a run off the bottom of turn 2, and boy, did he get a nice shot. Johnny just has to keep his head about him and run smooth laps, try not to buzz the tires.
Sammy gets around Hodenshield. That puts him to 3rd. Oh, look at Hahn going after it. Hodenshield up top in the Pennzoil car.
Last lap on the
Nobody catching Herrera. The best fight is for 3rd.
Johnny Herrera has not won since New York last season.
Look at this great fight for 3rd. Hodenshield sliding all the way up to the fence line. Sammy trying to hold on. Johnny Kreitz right behind him. Coming to the checkered flag. Johnny Hollywood Herrera wins again. Mark Kinser in the working car takes 2nd. Sammy Swindell gets 3rd. Jack Hodenshield gets 4th. And I believe Johnny Kreitz will be the highest finishing Pennsylvania posse driver as he comes home in 5th.
You know, some of these guys don't like to run the camera. It weighs 12 pounds, and these guys, we've talked about the weight and everything else. Johnny Herrera just proved you can still win the race with the camera.
And Sammy.
Yeah,
Sammy came home in 3rd, carrying the camera.
Yep.
Lightweight cameras here at TNN.
Yeah, there you go.
You've been working on them,
Yeah, we've been drilling. We got to drill some of the brackets out and things.
All right. Just don't drill on your microphone. You're too good. We need you. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to our winner, Johnny Hollywood Herrera.
A crowd of two-wheeled enthusiasts gathers at the Honda factory in Marysville, Ohio.
Today, we are proud to introduce to you the Honda Shadow Aero.
The bike's a real hit with the crowd. The Aero sports the latest in streamlined design with an exhaust pipe right out of the pages of science fiction. Here's Miss Aero showing off the bike's dazzling colors. The Honda Aero is available today, and what's the verdict in Marysville? There you have it, and it's full speed ahead for the bike of tomorrow.
Dogs have an uncanny sense of hearing, but they can't tell you if running, climbing, or even walking hurts or makes them stiff. So it's up to you. To help keep your dog active and healthy, ask your veterinarian how Rimadyl has relieved arthritis pain for more than 500,000 dogs. As with other pain relievers in this class, digestive and liver side effects may occur. Available by prescription only.
This is for Reverend O'Brien, who always told me to give it my best shot. For my grandmother, who showed me what real courage is. And for myself, who found it.
It's not for sale. Other companies have always tried to buy the secret family recipe for Bush's baked beans. No wonder. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Specially cured bacon, fine brown sugar, and a delicate blend of spices. I've only shared my secret family recipe with one other soul, and he'd never sell out. Hey, where'd you get that?
I was just trying it on. Honest.
Bush's baked beans. Our secret family recipe is baked into every bean.
Welcome back, everyone, to the afterglow of the Channellock Spring Classic World of Outlaw Sprint Car Racer of Williams Grove, Pennsylvania. And I've been coming here for at least a dozen years for this show and American Sports Cavalcade before that. And this was the most incident-free night I've ever seen at Williams Grove, which is a tribute to great driving and also the preparation of the racetrack, which was just spectacular. And speaking of spectacular, how about Johnny Herrera, who's with Bobby Gerald?
Big hugs all the way around down here. Steve Evans just getting a hug from Mike Thurman. I saw Carl Kinser give you the thumbs up. This has got to feel good, Johnny.
Well, I tell you, we've been good all year. Had some, a few problems here and there, some bad luck, but it was ours tonight.
You really got a great start.
Well, I tell you, we had a great one in the dash, got another one in the feature there. The car was just worked flawless. The guys did a great job preparing it. The motor did a great job, and Goodyear tires, Maxim chassis. I mean, it worked great.
Is it hard as a driver on the World of Outlaws circuit to not be anticipating that 5M or the number 1 coming up behind you?
Well, we have them radios there, and I was kind of talking to my guy. I said, well, how's Mark? And he says, you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. He ain't got nothing for you. And, and they told me I had a couple lap cars there. But, we got stretched out. And we got the Casey's General Store Strange Performance car in Victory Lane.
And I'm not sure, Johnny, if you even know this, but Mark was able to clear both of those lap cars going into turn number 1, and he was on you.
Well, I didn't know. I knew Rahmer was running the bottom. When I passed him, he was running the bottom. So, I figured Mark was trying to get some hang signals to him to let him know where he wanted to go. So I just kept doing what I was doing, and it worked.
$10,000 richer? What are you going to do with your money?
Oh, yeah, it just makes up for all the bad luck we have had.
All right, Johnny Herrera and the crew, very happy down here.
Say hi to my family, my wife, everybody watching.
Joe's having a good time in Albuquerque tonight, huh?
Oh, you can be sure of that. Hey, that's the first win for McCune Motor in 1998. Mike Thurman, the crew chief, somebody you beat in a sprint car once before, Doty. He was his first win ever as an Outlaw crew chief.
Ex-drivers make good crew chiefs. He was leading a race one time and broke, and I ended up winning it, and he was tough down in Farmington, Missouri.
Let's check in with Dave Reef, who's down there with the Kinser clan.
All of them. There's Cindy Kinser, little Carl Cole Kinser. Carl himself saying we were just this far off. He had you covered tonight, no doubt about that.
Yeah, Johnny, Gil and the boys done a real good job. I tried a lot of different lines on the track and went up to the fence and down to the guardrail, and nothing really seemed to make up much ground. A couple times I thought I might have had a shot at him in traffic, but they were definitely faster than we was, so that's kind of part of the race. And I want to thank Stu Murray's here from Workin, of course, Ray Williams, California, Phil Durst, Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm sure they're watching tonight and proud of our accomplishments.
How important was the start of this race? You slipped right into second. Were you concerned at that point that you might end up staying there?
Well, we've come from farther back, so, I wasn't really sweating it too much there at the first of the race, but come about midpoint, and Johnny was making up about a car width or 2 car widths a lap. I started getting a little shook about that time.
3 laps to go. You got a couple of lap cars in between you. Tell us about that move to get by them. That was quite incredible.
Well, actually, Fred Rahmer and Shaffer there, them guys are awful good professionals. They actually give me the preferred line. They knew I was wanting to run for the lead, and they've been in that predicament where guys wouldn't give them the line, and being like I said, the professionals they are, they give me some room.
Like you said at the top of the show, maybe not the dominating performance we're used to seeing out of you guys, but then again, second places, third places, those add up to championships, and I'm sure that's your guys' ultimate goal.
Yeah, it's early in the year, so we're right there in contention. Stevie's been running real strong lately. A lot of the Outlaws. Danny Lasowski's probably been the strongest guy all year without a win, so it's going to be a long, tough year.
Stevie Smith falling out, that makes this man the new points leader. Bobby? Well, here's a man who has now finished in the top 5 in 7 of his last 8 races. He's the defending World of Outlaws champion and slowly making his way up in the point standing. Sammy Swindell, good to be up here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, it was real good for the Channellock team. We had a little problem last night and didn't get a real good feel for the car. We had so many things that were a little off or bent on it. We made some changes, but we were just still a little bit off. We had the car a little too tight tonight, where last night we were a little too loose, and we probably overcompensated for it, but it was a good run. You know, I would rather not seen that last yellow. I think we could have at least got a second out of it. We had a pretty good run, but, you know, just in the race we got caught up with some guys and made some, you know, had to race with Jack for a while and Stevie and some of the lap cars. I didn't make the right decisions to get by, but you know, that's part of the race, and you know, I would like to seen it, you know, finish on out because our car was starting to come around a little bit. And after the yellow, it got real tight again. We had to loosen it up with the wing and everything, but you know, it's good enough for coming out here. You know, we were close. I could tell we were catching there at the end, but we just needed a 40-lap race for this Channellock still.
Not too many of those on the half miles. Now, we mentioned the point standings, and it's only Memorial Day or Memorial Day weekend, so still plenty of time left in the season. As a driver, do you start to worry about the point standings this early?
Well, if you're going for the championship, you know, like we're planning on trying to win it again, we've got to, you know, make every race, every point count. And, you know, we've had some things not go our way there early. We've been in the wrong place a few times, but we've got it turned around. We've got Gertie's got the motors going good for us. We're qualifying, you know, the top 2 or 3 just about every night. So that's given us some good starting spots. And, you know, we just have to get the right combination. And, you know, this weekend, Johnny Herrera got it right, you know, for the race we had. You know, we probably had a good car for a 40 or 50 lap race, but that's not the way it goes there tonight.
Well, you are creeping up in the point standings, and it is a long season, so we'll look for more good things from Sammy Swindell in the days to come.
What Sammy was talking about, tight and loose, what he's saying, when he goes into the corner, when the car's tight, the back of the car doesn't want to drift out or slide out like it should. In the front end, he wants to drive toward the wall. When say the car's loose, the back end hangs real bad. You can't get on the throttle without spinning the tires, things like that. So he said he just missed a little bit and had the car a little bit too tight.
Well, for those transporters that are already leaving, this is the boulevard of broken dreams. But for Johnny Herrera, Mark Kinser, and Sammy Swindell, for that matter, it's been a swell evening. We'll be back with a lot more from Williams Grove.